It's Monday. The weekend's over. But to cheer us all up on a miserable Monday, we've got the wonderful DJB, the excellent Normski, and the superb Shane. Big up to everyone. Thank you very much for joining the building. DJB, man, let's get a little bit warmed up. How you doing, man? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, all good, mate. All good. Really look forward to this Monday night section with the legend Shane and Normski and yourself. And yeah, this is the one show I look forward to, my guy. It's right at the beginning of the week, sort of gives you a little bit of a lift to get through the rest of the week. So yeah, all good. The sun's been shining today and got plenty of work done. And yeah, happy to be here, my friend, as always.
Yeah, no, and you know it's always a pleasure to have you. Just like it's a pleasure to have the world-class chat as well. I'll get all the guys' links pinned in the thing in 2 seconds, by the way, as well. Normski, how you doing, my friend? Did you have a good weekend?
All good, man. All good. We've been here with all the legends. Legend DJ. That way, Shady. And then over there, no, that way. I get it right. I'm doing a bit of Arteta,
Yeah.
Big up to the panel, big up to the chat, world-class chat. Looking forward to the show. I'm sure we've got a lot to talk about. Really have a lot to talk about, believe you me.
Nice. That's what we want to hear, man. And of course, Shane, my friend, always a pleasure to have you. Did you enjoy your weekend?
Yeah, bank holiday weekend over here. So kids are off today,
lovely.
although the young lad finished. Yeah, the young lad finished up. He's secondary school, so he finished up for the summer on Friday, but the little one's back to school tomorrow. But, yeah, so I got a bit done outside. We got a bit of weeding done. It takes weeks to do it.
I thought I missed that first. It's got
a bit of weeding, man. I had to get the shovel out and go along.
That's why his eyes are so small today.
Yeah, no, geez, I can't touch that stuff, man. I think you're all whispering about me. I've even had a puff of that stuff, but yeah, no, all good, man, all good. Looking forward to this. So that's what I always say. This is my favorite stream to do now, and I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to it as always.
No, it's an absolute pleasure. Just as we speak, I have just posted all the links. Sub to the guy, of course it is. Never mind. You know what I mean? We'll just pin the message anyway, ladies and gentlemen. I always have been, always will be terrible at typing. So just is what it is. But the main thing is, all 3 of their links are in there. So please go and show them support. That would mean the absolute world to me, and of course, I'm fairly certain it mean the world to them as well. Big up to you as well in the building. Big up to everyone in the building. That's here as well. Big up to you. Big up to Gavin. We got a bit of Sav in the building. Big up to you, brother. We got Quaja. Big up, mate. Ryan. Big up, everyone. Big up you. Who else we got in the building? Robbo. Big up, brother. Unique in the building. Nice, man. I see your video on Instagram. Hope you're enjoying. Unless that's where you live. But if that's your holiday, big up to you, mate. And I hope you're having a nice holiday. Kev, big up, mate. Nice for you to jump in. Absolute superstar. And then we got Dazzle Smoke Chew as well, my brother. Big up to you, my friend. DJ, YOLO, Buster. Hope you're all doing well, my friend. Mr. Waffle and anyone that I've missed.
The Waffle, my man.
Yeah. Big up to you and anyone else I've missed. I will come again back to the chat. But, you know, there's always world-class people in it. I can't do them all. But we want to start off with something that we've all seen. I mean, if you've read the title, you already know what I'm going to say. And it's obviously going to be about this man. And of course, Fab, he has posted out Al Hilal, confident to get the final green light for Simeone. For Inzaghi. To become their new head coach. And he's saying basically Inzaghi will meet Inter on Tuesday to make a final decision on his future, but Saudi Pro League side keep waiting with optimism. So, I mean, what I'm sort of getting from this is there's meetings arranged. He still hasn't decided what's happening with Inter yet. You know, there's clear interest from Saudi, which means money. But I'm going to come to DJB in just a second. But for me, whilst, look, this probably will seem like it might sort of go ahead. I mean, you know, there's money, there's this and all that. I won't take away from what the panel are gonna say. We was discussing about it, and I won't say what they've already said because, you know, I'm not a thief. But, like, for me, I think this is just a no-brainer. Look, we're going to show some ambition to get a new manager. Like, I'll be throwing your hat in there. But the problem is, I think, with this is if Arsenal throw their hat in there for this now, they've already then, by that, told Mikel Arteta that we don't want you. And then if this doesn't go through, then we do have to scramble for a new manager. Like, I just don't think they're going to be set to do that. I reckon this is going to be like another Carlo Ancelotti, like another Pep Guardiola, like another Jurgen Klopp, a manager that becomes available with a CV. Bye-bye, and we keep faith in a manager that stops winning stuff. DJB, what do you reckon on this, man? What's your take on this? Would you go? Can you see it happening?
No, well, to be honest, it's going to be another missed opportunity for Arsenal Football Club, isn't it? I mean, you've got a world-class top manager, bags of experience. Okay, he's missed out on a couple of finals, actually getting over the line. But when you look at the team he took to that Champions League final, Mkhitaryan and co, and players like that, giving them like the second coming, if you like. Amazing achievement. And let's be honest, he was walloped by a very, very, very good PSG team. I mean, they didn't, they'd have beaten anyone on the day, wouldn't they? To be honest. Nothing to be ashamed of there. I think he'll go to Saudi, and you can't blame him for going to Saudi because the money's there. They've got millions to pay. He's obviously thinking of his future and his future generations beyond that. They're going to be set up for life, his grandkids and their kids and everything else. And in the meantime, it's going to be another manager that slips through the net whilst Arteta's in place. And there's going to be many more chat and legends on the panel. There's going to be many more managers coming up for grabs. And until it all caves in completely at Arsenal, these managers are just going to be signed elsewhere. They're going to be going off to Saudi. They're going to be going off to the Barcelonas, the Real Madrids. And we're just going to be missing the boat. And all the while it's going to put us back year after year after year. Because the longer Arteta stays at Arsenal Football Club, the more managers we miss out on, the more it's going to put us back in years to come. And it'll just be rebuild after rebuild every single season. And then top players will start leaving the club. Heads will start to get turned. The Sackers and everyone else, they'll start to want to move on. And it's just going to be a merry-go-round all the time. But this guy's a top manager, without a doubt. And I'd have him at Arsenal. I think if this guy was at Arsenal, we wouldn't be going out the Carabao Cup semi-final over two legs. I think if this man was at Arsenal, we wouldn't have gone out the FA Cup. Okay, would we have won the Premiership? Possibly. We was a striker short to win the Premiership. If you look at it in hindsight, we was probably not strong enough up top to win the Premiership, but we would have certainly won a trophy. And I think over two legs in a semi-final, well, this guy would have probably pushed PSG all the way as well. So, another missed opportunity. We're going to wave him goodbye. He'll go to Saudi. And we're left with Arteta, I'm afraid. And it's a shame. It's a bang on shame.
Yeah, and do you know what as well? That's sort of the point of why I want to talk about this, because it isn't the fact that we're not getting Inzaghi, which is why I want to talk about it. It's the fact that we're going to be keeping Arteta. That's the real sort of gist behind this. And it's sort of, instead of again, look, go and get Inzaghi. It's also why aren't we trying? And then the consequences of not trying is that we are stuck with Mikel Arteta. This is the worrying thing, just behind all this news. We're a football club that don't seem to take opportunities at the right time. And we never have, or we at least haven't for a long, long, long time. I mean, when you think we signed Mikel Arteta over Carlo Ancelotti and he went to Everton, I mean, that's just criminal in itself. What do you reckon on this, Norms?
Well, what can you say? I mean, you got fans, top fans, having a go at him. The fact that he lost 5-0. Fair play. He lost 5-0. It was a brilliant PSG side. I mean, I sat down and watched that game and I couldn't believe what I was watching. And you've got people saying, if it was Arsenal there, we would have given them a better game. But the fact is, you didn't get to a final for a start. Secondly, 2021, this guy comes in, takes over Inter Milan, wins them a title, wins them domestic cup, 6 trophies, I think that he's won with them. Yeah. That's 5 more than what Arteta has won. And you know, at the end of his tenure, he loses to PSG, and evidently he has to part ways with the club. I don't get why Arteta's still here. You know what I mean? You know, giving up finals, semi-finals. You know what I mean? One cup in his tenure, nearly 6 years, and you've got a manager like Inzaghi going to Saudi. I mean, I would have loved him at our club, and as you said rightly, if this guy was managing our club, I guarantee we win a trophy. Whether we win a Premier League or not, I don't know. But if you look at what he's done with that Inter Milan side, you know, you think to yourself, wow, you know, it's just incredible. You know, average age of what, 28, 29. You know what I mean? Players that you didn't think will ever make it. You know, Mkhitaryan, 36-year-old Mkhitaryan starting a final. Come on, man. Do you know what I mean? But if he was to come to Arsenal, which, you know, we've missed out on him, and unfortunately, it's just another top manager we've missed. Same with Ancelotti. We've missed out on Ancelotti. We've now missed out on Inzaghi. And the sad thing about it is that we're going to be stuck with this manager in Mikel Arteta. And the protection that this guy gets is just on another level. You know, I'm hearing some things today on TalkSport with Martin Keown and how I'm sure Mikel Arteta's taking Martin Keown's soul. He's actually taking his soul. I think it's taking his soul because it doesn't matter what you say, this guy is going to back him to the hill. You know, even when he was questioning him about Henry statements, and he just could not bring himself around to agree. Oh no, I'm saying the same thing as Henry. No, you weren't. You weren't saying the same thing. Come on, yeah. But it's a shame. You know, it's just a pity that we couldn't get this guy, and he's going to be over there earning money, set up his family for life, and then, well, let's just hope that, I don't know, it's just another 2-3 years we might be left with Mikel Arteta, and that's the sad thing about it.
Yeah. It's a real frustration. Before I bring Shane in as well next, because when does it end? That's the worrying thing for us, isn't it? Where does it end? How many more managers do we see? How many opportunities are we going to miss? Isn't it, Shane? How many opportunities are we going to miss? Because it feels like a missed opportunity. Look, there's the decisive moments in clubs sort of histories and things like that. You know, where there's like a stick or twist, and that's what it always feels like. A manager's became available with a CV. That's just facts. In Inzaghi, it looks like he's becoming available. And I'm not saying like we're in for him or we're going to get him, but why? These are the questions. Why are we asking why? It's a stick or twist moment. And what I want to bring to you, Shane, is, and I think it's fairly obvious, but I want your take on why, is would Arsenal have a better season next year under Inzaghi?
Guaranteed.
Exactly.
Guaranteed.
Why are we not doing it?
Guaranteed. I've said it before about a new manager coming in, that suddenly the squad that is thin looks bigger. As in the loans that come back, he'd get a song out of them. They mightn't be great. He'd use them as squad players. Look what he does with other players. I've said it before. The midfield suddenly becomes packed if we get a new manager who knows what he's doing, because suddenly we have Lewis Skelly as a left 8 and we have Wanyeri as battling for the 10. We have a packed midfield straight away without signing anyone. We have a packed midfield. Obviously Tierney's gone, but if we had got them in time, then you'd keep someone like him. But then someone would come in like him and he'd get Tyreek Mitchell on a free because he is an overlapping fullback and that's what he wants. So he'd get him on a free. Or suddenly it opens up all the forwards that we can't sign because of Mikel Arteta because they have attitude problems. Awesome, and all these lads, they're suddenly available. Everything changes with a new manager. Every single thing changes. The players he's fallen out with, the Zinchenko's. Oh yeah, well you're number 10 for your country. There's another midfielder we have. Let's see if you can earn yourself a contract, son. You know what I mean? Everything changes with a new manager. This is the Inzaghi, right? That in his 4 years there, his net spend, actually, I won't even say that because there is no net spend. His net profit is 114 million. His net profit is 114 million. In that time, Mikel Arteta's net spend is 499 million. 499, his net spend. There's 2 teams that I could mention that have spent more than Inzaghi in those 4 years. Norwich and the Timberwolves in America have spent more net spend than Inzaghi has at Inter Milan. In that time, he's won a league, he's won 2 cups, he's won 3 Super Copas, 2 Champions League finals, with an aging squad of players that the likes of Igal would turn their nose up at every single one of them if they were offered to us. They're not good enough for us. The Igal that put out a tweet right after the final and said, Inzaghi bottling. He said, league bottled, Italian Cup final bottled, Italian Super Cup or semi-final bottled, Champions League bottled. Hang on now. Are we talking about a manager? Because let's get it straight now. He finished 1 point off in the league. 1 point off in the league with no money to spend. He got to a final. 2 finals, in fact. We didn't get to 2 finals.
Yeah.
So how can you use that to bash a manager when your manager failed in all those metrics and failed miserably in all of them? That's how blind these people are. That he's going, oh, and he was laughing, and Arsenal fans want this guy as manager. Yes, I do want him as manager. Yes, and Arsenal fans do. Arteta fans don't. Yeah. Arsenal fans do. Arteta fans don't. Because you're a fan of the manager. Inzaghi and Arteta, they shouldn't be in the same sentence. They should not be in the same sentence because one of them is a top-class manager. The other one shouldn't even have the term manager. He shouldn't have the term manager because he manages absolutely nothing. He has no in-game management, no man management. His talent ID is in the bin. This is a guy that went to watch Porto and saw Fabio Vieira playing beside Vitinha and said, I'll take the shit one. You know what I mean? This is a manager that made that signing when Tielemans was available on a free. This is what we're dealing with. And that like, Igal is deluded. He is deluded. And that's the thing. It's how can it's the injuries to defend him. And you're going, you know that he caused them. You're using something that he did to defend him. How can you use something he caused to defend him? Or the red cards. Again, he does the dark arts. He's made these players do these things. So how can you use that to defend him? How can you, and I'll finish on this. This is just a lesson for all the Arteta fans and for Arteta himself. If you break the rules in life all the time, amazingly, sometimes you get punished for it. So if you're constantly wasting time and kicking the ball away and, diving and all the stuff, sometimes you will get punished for it. And then you can't go whinging then. But this is, there's a difference between the way Inter would use dark arts, but not like that. That Barcelona Inter game, the 3-3, the first leg, when the ball went out for a throw in injury time, or it was the second leg just before it went to extra time. Oh no, sorry, it was the first leg, and the ball went out of play, and Inter should have been holding on to it, but he grabbed the ball and threw it for his lad to take a quick throw because he sensed the counter attack. Oh, we can win it. You know what I mean? Where Arteta's slowing it down when we're losing as well. But look, Inzaghi, it's sad. It's sad seeing managers like that. And there's loads of movement in Italy. I think Conte's moving on. Allegri just went to Milan. I think Nagelsmann's free. Mancini's still free. So this is why it's disheartening to me that all these managers are out there and we're not making a move. So just
you still got Zidane out there as well, isn't you?
Yep.
You know what I mean? They're all out there, and we're stuck with this guy, this clown who's spending 90 million or whatever it is on Sesko. Like, I mean,
it's similar. We're in a similar situation when Wenger had gone past his sell-by date as well, and Klopp and everyone, and Klopp, a man like this, was roaming around. Yeah. And at the time, we were sort of like saying, "Go and get Klopp. Go get Klopp at Arsenal. Go and get Klopp at Arsenal." And it's just madness. It's absolutely madness. But what I'm trying to say is as well, though, guys. Eventually, it's going to start swinging back to the owners, isn't it? Not because they've not backed him financially. It's going to start swinging back to the owners by saying, look, you need to start growing a pair now, and actually you now start to seeing what we're seeing. Yeah. And you being the owners of the club, surely you can see it with your own eyes that this manager is not good enough. So it's going to start, people are going to start saying, when are the Cronkies going to do their job and sack this guy? Yeah. And that's what will happen. It will start.
The sad thing is, DJB is.
I've got a bit on that, DJB.
You would hope that Berto, bringing in Berto because he's not here to make friends. That's the hope. I mean, obviously, with the fact that we're linked with Sesko and that he's the one that's going to be doing the deal, it kind of like brings a kind of sort of like a damper on things. So you're thinking, well, what's going on here? Who's really in control? Sort of thing. But I think Berto is probably going to be the one. And I know, Aaron, you probably don't want to hear this, and it's maybe giving him enough rope to hang himself. But it's the patience, and I know you're starting to turn into the Incredible. But just bear with us. You know what I mean? I saw you on Matty's DJ show yesterday. But
Yeah, I've got a little bit on that.
He will like let these guys know, like, listen, this guy, you've given him, when after this spend this summer, he could be now on spending £1 billion.
There's no more excuses.
There's no more excuses.
But there is, though, you see. They always find them, DJB. They always find them. We would have thought no more excuses last season. We would have thought no more excuses the season before. And they keep digging them out. But the thing is that I just want to touch on what DJB said about, will the board act? Like that thing you sent me, Normski, with the percentage of fans that are disappointed, very disappointed. About 3% of Arsenal fans were very disappointed. 3%. That's us. That's it.
We are the 3%.
There was 37 that were disappointed with the season, not very disappointed. Yeah. But that 37 that were just disappointed, I guarantee you that if you ask them, do you want Arteta sacked, though? They go, oh, no, it was just a bad season. I don't want him sacked. Yeah, it's only the 3% that would want him sacked. There was like a 5% that were extremely happy, the highest mark. Yeah. And then there was a huge amount that were happy, 50-something%. Now, I know the survey doesn't cover everybody and they ask them random people. But I mean, like Tottenham are getting rid of their manager, man. You know what I mean?
But I think that could really turn if in the early season, if results don't start going our way, and they see all these clubs winning players.
How bad has it got to be? How bad has it got to be?
I think it's got to be.
That's the worrying thing.
I think we've got to be languishing sort of 4th or 5th come Christmas. 9 points off. I
debunked the whole look where he took us from thing today on my show, because I did the Emery's only full season where he finished 5th. Yeah. And people say, look where Arteta took us from. But he's the one that made us finish 8 and 8. People seem to think that Emery had finished 8 and 8. He made us finish 8.
The first points tally as well.
Yeah.
The points tally in his first full season, not even a half season. I said, I'll give Arteta his first full season. There was a 9-point difference between what Emery got. A 9-point difference. And then you look at, like, Emery lost his first 2 games, but I think he won 10 in a row or something like that after. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's playing good football. And then there was this whole thing that, we were getting spanked by the big teams. But, like, when you looked at it, yes, we lost to City both times that season, but we smashed Tottenham. You know what I mean? When they were good, and we beat United, and we weren't getting spanked by the big teams the way they made out. This is all down to the man Charlie Watts and all the narrative that they painted that he saved us from disaster. But I even gave Arteta 1.5 seasons to say, right, Emery had 1 season, just 1. We'll give him the 1. We'll scratch the season in the middle where they had half each, right? And Emery did much better than him. Much better than him.
Yeah. Yeah, Shane, can I just ask a question? Do you think then, no matter what, you think because of the backing this manager gets, you think no matter how disastrous the start of the season is, where we are Christmas, he's here for another season? Shane, do you reckon he is?
Me? I didn't until the last couple of days. I've started to sink into that. I really have. I've started to sink into. I don't know what else can go wrong. I don't know what else. I don't know what Berta has to go to them with. Like, and we're talking about the stuff like that Aaron's researched over time and stuff, the wage bill and the injuries and all these things that go to the manager. The things that would be his job to go to them and say, I project in 2 years, this is what will happen. And if we know, like, I guarantee you we will not finish in top 5. But I'm sure Berta's looking at the injuries. We have to remember that the likes of Timber and all, they won't be back for the start of the season. You know what I mean? They won't be back for the start of the season. Ben White will probably be in and out. It's going to be even worse. And then he's going to bed Sesko in. And then he wants him just to say, well, he's young, give him time. Have it at the start. It's all the same thing is going to go. I just don't know what has to happen.
Oh, it's depressing, man.
I don't know. And it's not like the old Champions League group where if you lose the first 2, then some action has to be taken because you mightn't make it through. You know what I mean? It's so long now that he could lose 2 and go, look, well, PSG
straight through the playoff or something.
There's so much cover for him. So much cover for him. And
exactly.
I think the only way would be if the likes of Wanyeri and the assets turned around and said, I can't work with him anymore. Then the board might. I think that might be the only thing that if there was a
Saka
down in the tools.
Wants to be gone.
Yeah.
Or if Saka gets
some of the big names want to leave.
It's something like that. Something like that says I can't work with him anymore. I think that's the only way. Like that's what it was Ian Wright with Bruce Rioch when Ian Wright said I can't work with him anymore. that's what the straw that broke the camel's back with Rioch. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I think it has to be something like that. But he's clever. He's built a team of yes men. He's built a team of yes men that nobody's going to stand up.
They're scared of him. They're scared of him. That's clear.
There's no Tony Adams in the group. There's no Henry that would say this isn't good enough. There's no Vieira. There's no anyone like that will stand up to the man.
Why do you
clever,
so
but you
harsh
don't
with
win
like,
things with yes men.
Yeah, like what it was like with Aubameyangs and things like that. He sent a message to Aubameyang, to the captain and the highest earner of the squad. And he sent that to a new young squad he was just building. Look what I can do to the best player at this football club. Look what I can do to the highest paid player at the football club. Look what I can do to the captain of this football club. So you young little fuckers better step in line, otherwise, Allah, this is what happens. And that's exactly what he's created. And there is absolutely no surprise whatsoever that now we're looking at 15 yes men. It just is, you know. And
you knew that from the very beginning when he took over. And I remember when I said it on somebody's stream. I can't remember when he was his first training session, and it was just the way he sort of said, like I say, you don't do that here. And if the camera was on it, it's like, oh my god, wow.
He knew the camera was on him.
Yeah, he knew the camera was on him. It's like, it's about me. It's the protagonist. Yeah, here I am. You know what I mean? I'm the star of the show. And he's like, he did this little flick. And he said, no, none of that. Like, you know what I mean? It's just very authoritative. None of that. You know what I mean? Rather than sort of say, you know, have a laugh and joking about it. He was very serious. And I think that was kind of what set the tone. And you knew that exactly how things were going to go from now on in. And he was going to change the culture of the club and all of that. But listen, at the end of the day, the culture that he's changed it to now is mediocre. That's the culture. And that's coming from the top right the way through the bottom, right the way to our fans that will accept this mediocrity. And they will say in turnaround when Sesko comes to the field, he needs time to bed in, give him 2 years. So that's his get out clause. That's his get out clause.
That's the thing. And Aaron's spot on as well when he says that, you know, what he did with Aubameyang. And then Ozil, let's get it right, Ozil as well. He did it to him too. But that's him saying, like Aaron said, listen, you little scrubs, if I can do that to him, think what I can do to you if you don't toe the line. You know what I mean? And that's what it's like going into prison and punching the biggest guy first so you don't get, you know what I mean? That's what he did. He went in and he just made it. But I said it from the start that the day that he did that interview for the Arsenal job and he felt like he was going to get it, in his mind he went, Guendouzi, Ozil, Aubameyang, I'm getting rid of all of them. And Martinez as well. They're all out of here, man. They're two strong personalities. You look at the players and the whole Tierney thing. To this day, I think it's because everybody wanted him as captain, and he was like, "I picked the captain. The crowd don't, the other players don't. Everybody. We all just assumed that Tierney would be captain. I didn't know he was back then, but that's the feeling I got. That everybody just assumed he'd be captain. You know what I mean? He had everything to be a captain.
Yeah,
and that's why he's not captain, because everybody wanted him to be.
Yeah, no, it's fact. Yeah, look, I reckon that's exactly right. It's all done by design from Mikel Arteta. He knew exactly what he wanted to do. He's finessed the owners, and I want to do a little bit on that. He's finessed the owners, and basically all this time nonsense. When we've dispelled that little nonsense, that it takes time to win trophies. No, it just really doesn't. It factually doesn't. The fact that he can sort of convince a whole ownership of people. Of course, he's going to be able to convince most thick Arsenal fans. If he can convince businessmen, do you know what I mean? Owners and billionaires. Oh yeah, that this process takes time. Of course, he's going to be able to convince Thicko from the streets. Do you know what I mean? Who's an Arsenal fan? Thanks. The gullible knobheads. Of course they are. Do you know what I mean? And unfortunately, he's also convinced the squad. Yeah, it all takes time. They've all bought into his ideas. He's cast a spell over everyone, isn't he? And everyone's now believing in it. It takes time. But where I wanted to take this as well is this is my frustration, because it is part of not being able to get Inzaghi, because we won't. We're not going to be going in for him, and that's the shame. It's a real shame that we're not really going in for him. But then it's just another sort of thing of, well, we're all down in our dumps. And I think it was Shane that sort of nudged on it when I asked him the question. You'd be a little bit better, wouldn't you? If I got sacked now, I'll tell you what, a weight would be lifted off everyone's shoulders, wouldn't it? I think I really speak for everyone on this panel, and probably in this chat as well, world-class chat, in saying that if Inzaghi got sacked today, right now, let's just say it broke now, I would be somersaulting. I would. I think we'd all be buzzing. The change in the trophy, would be unbelievable. It would exactly
Because
right,
you know,
like that.
Hope again. It's just having hope.
It's hope.
Same
That's
feeling. Be the same feeling as winning the Premiership.
I think it'd be bigger
right,
because I've said it before, but sorry, yeah, but I've said it before about these other fans that they just switch off. You know what I mean? But when we're thinking about getting rid of Arteta, or we're thinking about we're always thinking about the years to come. You know what I mean? That like 2-3 years down the line. We're thinking about the injuries and we're thinking about the wage bill and how it's going to be fixed. They're just like endorphin hit. Okay, we beat Madrid. Done. We're done. We're the best team in the world. We beat Madrid. And we're going, this is just papering over the cracks, you idiots. Do you really think we're going to go on and win this competition? You know what I mean? Oh, you're negative. No, we're not going to win it. And then when we don't win it, PSG, we ran them close and we would have won the final. Like, just give me a break, man. Do you hear any other team doing that, man? Do you hear any other fans saying, Liverpool fans saying, we had a beaten PSG? They might have gone on and won it. In truth, Liverpool might have gone on and won it. We wouldn't. We would have got spanked in that final against Inter. I don't care if Inter lost 5-0. They would have beaten us. All right. Because that's what we are.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's hope, man. It's just a bit of hope.
Final. We're just on that Champions League final because I don't want to take it there. As you just saw, the best team played probably to the best of their ability at the best night at the 365 that they proposed. And it was it was just a complete performance. And I don't even think if Inter Milan would have had their best performance, I don't think it would have been that much of a different scoreline because the best team absolutely turned up. Every single one of their players went Champions League tonight, boys. We all on it.
They were led off the leash, Aaron. They were led off the leash. The players were led off the leash. The front three were changing the whole time. He wasn't telling them. They were doing it. And for the third goal, Vitinha, their numbers, they're 6. He burst forward, not a problem. He wasn't told to get back. He burst forward and played the ball in for the third goal to kill the game off. If Partey had a run forward with the ball like that, Arteta would have bollocked him. He would have absolutely bollocked him at 2-0 up. Your 6 making a break like that. He gives them the formation. This is your formation. Oh, Hakimi inverts. Yeah, he inverts in the final third. He inverts into the box.
Effectively.
He doesn't invert and just crowd the midfield in our half. He inverts where it matters. Yeah. And this is the thing. I'll finish this because it's just a gal again. If you remember his mixed 11 for PSG and Arsenal, he put Timber ahead of Hakimi, right? He said, no, I think Timber's a better right back than Hakimi. A month later, when he's reviewing the final, he goes, I want to go from Hakimi, the best right back in the world. A month ago, you had Timber ahead of him, mate. A month ago. What's changed in a month?
Can I just say something, though, Shane? And this will sum it up. When you lie repeatedly, it's always hard to keep track of your lies. And
you can't keep track.
Always slip up. Whereas if you spoke from the heart, and that's what you genuinely believe, you probably almost would never come to that. Because if a grain of thought is so set in stone in what you believe, why would you say some other player? You wouldn't. Or instantly you'd counter that with, do you know what? Maybe I was wrong about Hakimi. That's what normal people do. That's what honest people do. But we all know that that gal's a YouTube character. He's not a person. He's just he's a character, isn't he?
He's a Jerry Springer.
It's just a YouTube character designed to earn money. That's all it is.
Evil.
Yeah, that's it. Because it isn't. It's not to talk facts, is it? I mean, I don't really want to nudge on the gal sorts and that sort of side of things. Exactly. But do you know what I mean? It just is what it is, and that's why we've got 111 of the best world-class people in this chat come to listen to four gentlemen talk from the heart, honestly. And Jez will be joining us in a second as well. I need to bloody send him the link. That would help, I suppose, wouldn't it? Silly sod. I know, Jez. Come on, guess the link, Jez, for crying out loud. Yeah, no, I'll get it over to you on Insta in a second. But yeah, like we're talking from the heart, and that's why a lot of us don't get clipped up for making mistakes, and by that I mean contradicting ourselves with ridiculous stuff, purely because we keep the same. And I'm not saying that that probably won't ever happen, but like it probably won't be something. Do you know what I mean? You'll have an honest explanation for something like that. But these lot are like I said, someone in my chat put down in there with the Igal thing, like, he said, if he wins something, he still gets sacked. He didn't win in. I think Igal said, if he wins the Carling Cup, it still ain't enough. We want him sacked, and he wants to keep him after winning nothing. I mean, do you see what I mean?
It does make sense. The problem is The problem is now, right, is you've got to remember where you are. Because if you've got Arsenal fans saying if he wins the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup, he's got to get the sack. Yeah. It's no good then turning around and saying, "Oh yeah, but he has won us he has won a trophy, and that's all what you've been on about." And yet you want him sacked. So they have to remember what they're saying.
Yeah.
And, you know what I mean? And this is what I mean. They contradict themselves a lot.
Yeah.
We are level-headed. And I've been with Shane, and me and Shane have been on the same hymn sheet. And me and Shane have both said this, and it caused everyone was in like, whoa, hang on a minute. Me and Shane has said, even if he wins the Champions League, I want him gone. And Shane said the same. And I remember being on a stream, and it kind of like, whoa, hang on a minute. And you know, I still want him gone because I'm not looking at next season. I'm looking at
That's what it is. Yeah.
I'm looking 2-3 years down the line. Because if he'd have won that Champions League and they'd have given him another 3 or 4 year deal, he would have gone. You'd have had him for life. You'd have had another Arsene Wenger situation. You'd have had another 7-6 years with this manager, and then we'd have won nothing in that time. And the only thing we'd have had to keep going. Well, not the only thing, major thing, I know. But what I'm saying is the long-term damage this man causes is going to carry this club forward for many, many years. And this is why we need a change now. We need it. We need a change now. Yeah. All these new players coming in under this manager ain't going to make a blind bit of difference. And that's why I can't get excited. Getting back to that PSG game, when I was watching them play, it was like watching the Invincibles play at some point.
Yeah, just been
honestly, it reminded me of watching Arsene Wenger's Invincibles. I was watching men like Vitinha literally at the freedom of the park, and I'm thinking, God, look at him. Do you know what I mean? It reminds me of, like, you know, all the players that I've seen at Arsenal. It reminds me of the Merson.
Pep Barca as well, and Pep Barca had a
Shane said rightly about the Vitinha thing as well. Let's also not forget he chose Mourinho over Ruiz.
Yeah,
he was available. I mean, we could have had two of them midfield.
No, we signed Fabio Vieira instead of Vitinha, didn't we?
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
Every pass has meaning.
This is what we have been saying. He's got no ability to scout a player. He wants Sesko. He's throwing all his eggs in one basket. He wants Sesko. He's like a big kid at Christmas wanting a new bike. I want a new bike. I want a new bike. I want Sesko. I want Sesko. Yeah, but Gyökeres is the better striker. And we need an out-and-out number 9. We need a great, big, ugly, dirty, horrible number 9. We need an out-and-out striker. That's what we need. Yeah, but I want Sesko. I want Sesko. I want Sesko. And he's going on and on and on and on and on and on. And this is why I think Bert has gone, well, okay, let's just do it then.
And let's just do it. If it is true that deal was done, if that deal was done, or was gentlemen agreed, or if it was, you know, we were far down the line with it, or whatever the case may be, that means that he knew in January that the striker was coming, right? Yeah. So when did you ever hear him say, or whenever he used to get asked about a striker, he used to get really hot-headed and go, we get goals from everywhere, I don't need a striker. Suddenly in January, he's saying, I need a striker, I need a striker, I need a striker. Because he knew he wasn't getting one. So that way, when he doesn't get one, all the top gooners go, wasn't he begging for a striker? If they hadn't backed him, he knew he was dumping it all on the board. He was dumping every bit of it on the board.
And Shane, why do you think it is that we are signing or trying to sign Benjamin Sesko? Oh, sorry, wrong lesbian. Benjamin Sesko. Do you know what I mean? Like, why do you think it is? Because he's young. He's young.
He can play Havertz over him.
And he's got the excuse of time. Because if you sign a Gyökeres, and I hope he signs Gyökeres, we get Sesko in there, and he's like, oh, 21, he needs another bit of time. You know, he needs to embed in the squad. Yeah. It's all set up for Arteta to have another season.
Yeah.
And Aaron, what it is
pure and simple. If he signs Gyökeres, he's got mud on his face because he's got a drop. Yeah. He can't accommodate Havertz.
And you know what it is, DJB, which I was thinking about the other day? If he signs a Gyökeres, that is guaranteed a certain amount of goals, right? If he ends up getting 15 goals, then it's Arteta's system that's the problem. And he has to go, oh, hang on. You know what I mean? And he has to admit then that his system's bollocks.
Exactly.
And he has to admit that he was wrong. And that he will never admit he's wrong. He'll sacrifice the club to prove himself right, to not get heat on himself. And this is what we're dealing with. He doesn't care a jot about this club, not a jot. Doesn't care. And Henry cares. Henry crying when he's leaving, and Henry name the best, your 3 favorite clubs. Oh, Arsenal. You know what I mean? He cares about the club, and he's getting mudded by these top gooners, sending them death threats.
Believe
and,
that,
you know,
man.
come on.
I can't believe it.
Yeah, no, it's a joke. I will take it back to the manager thing. So I've got another point as well. I want to bring in about it. Obviously, linking in with the Inzaghi thing. 2 things, Jez. 1, a new name change. No,
Jezza!
Yeah, I was talking about this with you guys a month ago.
Yeah.
Put polls out and chats, and people came up with great names, and chatting with other people, you guys and Lee and Kenny and all that. And eventually it came down to there was a great name that I really loved, which was Loose Cannon. But chatting to other people more experienced than me, they said, no, you got to link it to something to you.
Yeah.
Because the original name was too long. And tonight, when I did a channel announcement, about, they said, yeah, Jez, it was difficult to find you. So I said, well, okay. So I simplified it. Jez is Arsenal. That's it.
Perfect. Yeah. No, it's perfect, Jez. Absolutely perfect, mate.
It's gone down well. A lot of people received it, and we'll see how it works. But hey, yeah.
One thing I will say, Jez, your is still Arsenal, the history and more.
It is.
Right. Yeah. Will that be changing, or are you keeping that for the time?
No. Connor, who does all my graphics and stuff, he's working on it. I mean, look, I'm Mr. Thick. He sent me all the stuff about the new thingy bob and the banner and all that, and I didn't know how to do it. I said, look, Connor, I'll give you access to the channel. He's been in my channel before, and he's very trustworthy. And I knew how to change the name on the channel, but I didn't know how to do the rest of it. So he did it. And the security we had to go through, oh my days. He had to keep saying to me, Jez, you need to pop this in. You need to do that. And I thought, for fuck's sake. Okay. Anyway,
it's a nightmare.
Obviously, he's signing in from a foreign device, which is fine. So that's how we did it. But yeah, he's got to change it all. He's changing the video type. You know that thing which got Arsenal history and more. He's going to edit that. He's going to edit the intro channel. It's going to take a couple of days because the man's busy. So he's got a full-time job. So it will take a few. It might take a week, 2 weeks. I don't know. I don't care. I'm on holiday, but he'll sort it all out. He knows what he's doing, and so at the moment, it should be out there on YouTube. It should be Jez is Arsenal 1967.
It still had your old one there. Well, the YouTube official channel itself is still Arsenal, the history and more. I don't know whether it takes a little while to switch over. It may do. I just went to have a little look on there to get the new current up to date one, and when I found you, it still had that. So maybe it just takes a little bit to switch sort of back over.
I'll have to get the experts on it. Mate, look, listen, you're talking to Mr. Thick here.
Well, a successful businessman. I wouldn't go that far, Jez. You're definitely not Mr. Thick, but perhaps maybe.
I had people that dealt with my internet when I was in business. It fucking wasn't me. Seriously, you know what I mean? I had a very good young lady that did all of that. I'm not a technophobe. File, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, no, Jez,
no, dude, no. I'm not having. No, I was never going to be Gooner Jez. No, that's.
I do like the new name, though, and I think it rings true.
Yes,
it really is.
It's
I like it. Yeah, no, I really do like it. It's short, snappy, and absolutely fucking packs the punch, doesn't it? The Godfather is Arsenal, for crying out loud. And make sure you go and sub to the Godfather, and make sure you go sub to everyone else in. New links in the title.
I think you've still got your name in it, Jez. That's the main thing. You've still got your Jez in it. That's the key.
I think the problem is if you put Arsenal first, it gets buried in searches. Then you see that's what they're saying. If you said like Arsenal is Jez, then it would get buried under. I don't know. I'm not technical at all with this stuff either, man. I'm just winging everything I do. I'm winging it, man. Absolutely winging it.
You sound like Arteta.
Honestly, I'm like, oh, there I know.
Even case in point, when I had to confirm my identity to get monetized because I went past the viewing hours and stuff like that, I sent in my fucking old driver's license, my driver's license, but it has my old address on it. So they have to post a letter out to my old address. So I had to
call them my old address. Everything, do you have to do posting and all sorts, do you?
Oh, they have to post you the pin so you're not, cheating or whatever. I don't know.
By the way, Jane, mine still ain't came, so I wouldn't hold your breath.
What are you talking about? Monetization?
My pin ain't come still. Well, I've done that fucking 7 weeks ago. So don't hold your breath.
Oh yeah, that's what it says. It can be up to 4 weeks, isn't it? But you've been 7 weeks, have you?
Yeah, half. I had to fucking send for another one. I don't know why they're taking
so long. Are you talking about the monetization?
So you can't get paid then till it comes, no?
No.
What's this? The driving license?
No, you see, because to get monetized on YouTube, you have to give them identification. So when your channel can get monetized, like you have to get past like the 3,000, I'm past the 4,000 now views or viewing hours.
Yeah.
And the subs and stuff like that. And then they have to post you the pin to unlock it, so you're not cheating, because people could just be hacking in and doing it. But my I moved last year, so my driver's license had I didn't even think it had my old address on it. So I had to call out, and some old lady was had to stand to the door. I'm like, I used to live here. If you get a letter, can you ring me on this number? But yeah, sure, we'll wait and see.
I'll speak to you backstage about it.
Yeah. But yeah, no, Jez, obviously
easy. It is actually really easy to do it. It is easy.
Yeah, so once you get the letter. Yeah.
I just think mine still.
Before I shut up, right?
Well, I want to ask you about Arsenal after. So you've got another bit of talking to do, unfortunately, Jez. Sorry, mate.
I said to the wife and my 2 daughters, what do you think of these 3 names? And they went for Jez's Arsenal. That's fine. My grandson, I said, right, James, give me the overall name on this one. And he said, Granddad, Jez's Arsenal, Arsenal Jez. No, don't like that. He said, I've got it. I said, what's that? He said, Jez is an idiot. That's like, fair enough. Okay.
Yeah. You know, trust your family, innit? Do you know what I mean? Jezza, we was just before you jumped on, mate. Thank you very much for jumping on. We were sort of talking about party settings if Mikel Arteta was to be sacked, and I think we'd all be quite happy because we'd all have a little bit more belief. And there's also an ugly flip side to that. And it's the most realistic one is that he stays and we go into another punishing sort of season when nothing's happening and all of that. Then we see Inzaghi amongst all the other managers that they become available. Then they go to other clubs and then they're successful at the other clubs. And then we keep Mikel Arteta and we're not successful. And then it's just another season that we're all got older. We've all wasted. We've learnt nothing. We've been frustrated. We've had 3 games a season where we've left the Emirates and it's been fantastic, but ultimately it's for nothing. And that's the most likely reality I think that we're going to be facing in the 25-26 season, man. But how do you sort of feel? I just touched on the Inzaghi thing, so I want to move a little bit past it now. You're a little bit frustrated that we're almost like a stick and twist sort of thing where we've got a great opportunity to go and get someone. Go get a manager that could be available. Maybe he's going elsewhere, but the point still is, why are we not able to just cut our ties? Because even then, it would actually take away from the Bert thing, Jez. Like I've been saying a little bit about a power struggle and things like that. If Arteta was to go, so do all the transfer targets. It's then 2 new people, a new manager and a new director of football can both implement brand new ideas to a football club. How refreshing is that? Well, it's not. It's just stale with one man there, isn't it, Jez, man? What do you think?
It is stale now. I think it's time for a new voice. How long do you go with listening to the same old boring shit every day of your life? These players are getting. Yeah, I'm of the opinion. I've no proof, of course, that these players are thinking, "Oh, here we go. Every day we go to training, we hear the same old shit,
Yep.
like rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat." It's time now to mix it up and say, "We need to move on." We hear the same story about the same players, Sesko, Grokeres. Yeah. Why are we not looking at a player like Eze,
Yep.
a player that can mix it up?
Yeah.
Proven this season, proven last year. Well, I mean, the season before. But we go down the same road every time, the one-way street with this manager, and it will be the same again, start of the season, disappointment after disappointment after disappointment. So the window's now open today for 10 days, I think it is.
Yeah.
Right. So what is your honest belief, guys, that they're going to get anybody over the line in 10 days? I doubt it. It takes us about 2 months to do anything. Right. Whereas what we should be doing right now with this Andrea Berta getting in quick, and this is where I'm going to test the faith in this guy, right? Because if he's coming to do the job that I thought he was going to come in to do, he should be starting it right now.
Facts.
Exactly.
100%. 100%.
Right now. Right now.
Thank
By
God.
this Friday, right? If he's got the bollocks that I'm led to believe he's got, we'll be talking Friday. This guy is going to be probably coming to Arsenal next Tuesday.
Yeah, mate. Do you know what, Joe Thompson? God, sorry.
Go on.
No, do you know what? I'm so glad you said that. Honestly, and the words I'm going to take is I expect him to start his job now. Now, you know, and that's sort of why my brother DJB over here to the right hand side, he invited me very kindly on his show yesterday because I was getting very, very, very annoyed. Not at them, of course, absolutely never would be. Or any of the opinions that they was making. I was just getting frustrated with the scenario that Arsenal were in, and it's more sort of like the sort of like narrative of, you know, Arteta still getting his way in the transfer sort of market in us getting Benjamin Sesko and Zubamendi and the whole sort of like, oh yeah, but they were done this and all that. I don't care if all that them two players needed to do was sign on the dotted line. Bertus came in to work. If his contract started like the players do on the 1st of June, or maybe it does start and it's different for them, whatever. He starts working the day that he starts getting paid from Arsenal Football Club. So his contract starts on the 1st of whatever. You start working there, not, well, you know, we'll just see what Mikel Arteta does because that's so far down the line. If he is come here to shake things up like we all thought he was, we'll go, yeah, well, no, sorry, Mikel, no, I don't think that's best for this football club because that's what he's employed by. He's not employed by Arteta, Berta. He's not employed by Arteta. He's employed by Arsenal for the benefit of Arsenal Football Club. And that just so does coincide that the manager will also benefit that. But it's not for the manager directly. It's for Arsenal Football Club. That's what he's signed and hired by, Arsenal Football Club. So why can he not go, yeah, actually, you know, I don't think Benjamin Sesko is the right player for the next 5 years for Arsenal Football Club and not for you, Mikel Arteta. Do we think Zubamendi is that player for the next 5 years? I don't know. But is he the best player for Arteta or is he the best player for Arsenal? Because if Arteta's only signed here and contracted here for 2027, let's just say, why are we signing players for him for 5 years, for 2 years? I don't even understand that in itself. Like, I don't really get it. I want him to start working now, but I'm not willing to give him any leeway. I'm sorry. He's got a CV. He knows what he's doing. He's been at this club for a few months now. He's also been working at the same job at Atletico Madrid, where he's been looking at players. He's not stupid. It weren't as if like he's started at Atletico and he weren't doing anything for the last 2 months, and then he done fuck all with his time and then he just chilled out before he starts his job officially at Arsenal. He's always been working. He's got transfer targets that he wanted for Atletico. During the meantime of him, that little period, there's players that he wanted. He knows what he wants better. There's no way he's coming there and he's just going to, I'll tell you what, I'll just check things out for a year and then I'll see what Arteta's doing and then I'll tell you what, I'll implement my ideas in 2026. Nah, well, I'll tell you what, fuck off to another club for a year then and then come back in 2026. Do something now. That's what I want to see. Because what it boils down to, lads, and this is the frustrating thing about, it's not all about Inzaghi. Like, the frustrating thing is if we don't get a new manager, this is the point of the Inzaghi thing. We all are resigned to the fact that the most likely scenario is Arsenal have another failure of the season. We have another failure in the transfer window. And then guess what happens in 2026 if he does have enough rope to hang himself? If he lasts the season, we may not get Champions League football. And I don't care about that in itself, but I do care about the level of manager that it attracts.
Yeah.
And then say we do spend all this money on a Sesko and a Zubimendi. I do care then that the Cronkies are going to go, well, we've just give you 100 million to sign a striker. And now new manager's come in and said he needs another 120 million.
And they're going to turn.
Are they going to give that to him? No. And case in point, as a reference I will make, when we spent 100 million on Declan Rice, and then 65 million on Havertz in that window, it fucked us for the following season. Look, and that was this summer. We had to make a profit, didn't we?
That's
so
right.
now this is the summer where we're going to go gun-ho, bang, 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 bang in the transfer market. But then what happens next summer if this one flops again and the new manager comes in and he's like, well, you need about 500 million to sort this squad out, mate. And you need to get rid of 10 players. What's he going to do? Well, the board are going to go, well, we've given this other manager £1 billion. So he's going to go, well, I tell you what, we spent 200 million last summer. You're going to have to sell all this shit next summer. And then he's going to go, how can I get rid of this lot? We're going to lose money on every single sale. And they're on about 2 or 3 or 4 times more than their fucking market value is in wages. What are we going to do? And guess what happens in between then? We've got 50 or 60 games of leaving the flipping stadium, watching it on telly, miserable, bored, uninspired. And that's the point of, the Inzaghi news and the things like that is, why not just go, bang, Arsenal Football Club, just like, them lot down the road have gone, thanks for the trophy, but who's better? Yeah. Why are we getting outdone by Tottenham? Why are they showing more ambition than Arsenal Football Club? They've just won a trophy the first time in 18 years and they've got rid of him because they want something better. Why are we not doing the same? Come on, look at the energy around Arsenal Football Club. If Arsenal Football Club got an Inzaghi-esque manager in right now, and then you've got Berta, and then you've got an Inzaghi. Let's just use his name, just for argument's sake. You've got a Berta and you've got an Inzaghi there coming in, both new, both going bang, right. Let's work together. What do we think we can get Arsenal in the next 2 or 3 years? Because that's probably what their contracts are-ish. In the next 2 or 3 years, where can we get Arsenal? Let's go and do this, boys, shall we? You've got a manager with a CV who's fresh, hungry. All of a sudden, all the players in that squad, by the way, they become new players because they've got that bounce. Jez touched on it. It's stale. They're all listening to the same old crap, going into doing the same old horrible, nasty routines that they're set up in training. DJB said this yesterday on his stream. He said, about... I bet if you were sort of to all wires off, sort of say to some of the players, so look, there's no news cameras here. There's no one. I'm not wearing a wire. I'm not trying to catch you on that. Do you really like Arsenal? I bet you a lot of them will go, it's a little bit, they're to family members.
I mentioned this yesterday. If you had players in an environment and they was out on the town and all of that, and they was just talking and they was looking around and no reporters and it was all private. How are you finding things now at Arsenal? Oh, it's all getting a bit boring, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Same old, same old. You can tell in their body language. You can tell.
Of course you can. But do you know what as well? And the point I wanted to make out of this is what an invigoration it would give Arsenal Football Club. Could you imagine going in now to this next period and going, right, we've got a new manager, we've got a new director of football. I began, I'm liking the chances of maybe us getting good signings. And I'm liking the chances of us winning a trophy because we've got a manager that can do it. Like, what a change. I'll tell you what, I'd be going into this season, not going to lie, I would be going into it with optimism.
Yeah.
I'd be going, oh, man, right. Wouldn't it just be a weight off of our shoulders?
You know what, guys?
Good man.
Listening to all of us talking here and looking at the targets that we're sort of linked with, they're talking about all this money that we're going to have to spend, and even with all that, if we get those particular targets that Arteta wants, it's just going to be so underwhelming. That's the feeling I'm getting. It's an underwhelming feeling of it's the same old. And the players that he's bringing in, the likes of Zubimendi, people, looking at Nico Williams, these are not guys that are going to take us to the next level. Yeah? They're not going to take us to that next level and get excited. I'm not excited hearing Zubimendi. I'm not excited about Sesko coming in. I'm not excited about Nico Williams coming in. They don't move. Do you know what I mean? They just don't move me whatsoever. You know what I mean? Because they are Arteta start type players, that will fit his system, and it will just be the same old. It's just that rinse and repeat from next season to next season. Only that you just got different faces doing the same thing, and that's how it feels. It just feels it's like we're trying to get ourselves geared up. Oh, we got in. We got all this money coming in, blah blah blah. But the end of it, because I was thinking about it today, and from a certain channel, when they sort of give a mark out of 10, how they rate the transfer window. It's going to be interesting at the end of this summer window how people are going to rate it, because honestly, with the names that we're linked with, I'm giving it a 4. Just with the names that we're linked with right now, because it doesn't move nothing for me. It absolutely doesn't move nothing to me. It just literally means we're going to stagnate in the same position we are. All it is just that you're going to have a couple of new faces in, and the rest of the guys are, welcome to the Netflix FC, same old again. That's what that's how I'm feeling right now. I just listen to everybody here. It's like we should be buzzing. And as I said, if you had a new manager in, you got the director of football in, with an influx of money coming in, for a fact that manager will be going for different targets and everybody will be buzzing. But right now, the fact is that we've still got Arteta, and that's why we're feeling flat.
Yeah, 100%. That's
100%, mate.
I just we got to say goodbye to Jezza because he's got an early start in the morning. But thank you very much for jumping on, man. Very
big up, Jezza.
Big up, Jez.
What you got coming up, man? In France and on YouTube?
Not a lot will be going on YouTube, to be fair. I'm enjoying my relaxing time over here. Just wish the weather would pick up a bit. It's warm, but it's not great, to be fair. And I've got a couple of old mates of mine coming over tomorrow with their ladies. If any of you watched the video I sent you, there's a couple of boys out of that are coming tomorrow.
Nice.
Really? Sheepskin coming?
Yeah, he's coming tomorrow. He was the boy. He was the old guy. Well, the old guy. Right at the end. He's proper
quality.
He's a proper comedian.
Jez, do you know what my best bit about that was? And I was saying it with to Lee when he had it up. He was saying, about getting mixed in and that. And he was like, he ain't I know we ain't young boys anymore, but he's like, I've still got the appetite for it and all of that.
I love that, man. I love that bit, man.
He's just like,
still got the appetite.
Still got the appetite for it.
Yeah.
I was like, what a chat.
Yeah, it's quality.
No red cowboy hats inside.
Some of them.
And I'll tell you what, for any of the young ones watching that fancy themselves a bit of chances, mate, you probably wouldn't want to have a scrap with him, no matter however old them boys are, mate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just get that right.
Yeah.
I don't think age really makes a difference.
Did you see the guy? He's got a blue T-shirt on. It says the Herdsman EIE.
What was that? When they was in the boozer? Was one of them, I think. I can't remember.
They're outside the East Stand entrance.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Which is right opposite where I used to live. I used to live right opposite there. That guy was the guy No, I won't say no. No, it's not right for me. No, it's no. It's not for me to say it. But that guy right there, short guy, is a little bit at my height, 5'7". He's tubby now. It says the herdsman EIE. He's coming out tomorrow, and yeah, fuck me, man. He was a nice.
Just don't forget, if you're still around up Friday, you and Kenny.
I'll be here.
Yeah. All right, mate.
Yeah. Now, but now, just
8 o'clock, isn't it? 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
8:30, 8 o'clock. Is that right?
It is indeed.
Yeah. Yeah. So sorry, it's only a short jump on, boys, but got a lot to do out here right now, and having fun, having a good time. I have to say to you, I was absolutely ruined on my birthday. Didn't have a drink at all yesterday because I was proper wasted. But gentlemen, as always, all of you, you're proper legends, and enjoy your show. And I'll catch you all, gentlemen, very, very soon. Take care. Have a great time.
Big up, Jez.
Big up, Jez.
Yeah, big up to Jez, man. Come on. What a geezer he is. What a legend. What an OG. What superstar, man. Let me come to the super chats because I've left them for a little bit. Sometimes it's hard to come to them, especially sometimes. And I apologise. This one came in very early. I do apologise to you, mate. Sometimes it's difficult just for an explanation to you, bud. I weren't ignoring it. Sometimes when there's such a core conversation going on and you've got sort of four people, it's sort of, you can't sort of go, all right, DJB, what do you think about the Inzaghi thing? And then straight away talk about another comment or another conversation. Do you know what I mean? So I really wasn't ignoring it for anything other than just sort of disrupting the flow of the conversation, my friend. So I do apologise, but we're here now. And like quite rightly you're saying, you know, Mbuemo to United, and they've also signed Cunha, bud. Call me crazy, but if I was Gyökeres, I would sign for Man United. And you know what? Manchester United still do have the pull. They've got the manager, like you say, under Amorim. He was the player. Yeah, that, you know, he got the best out of him as well, I do believe. And the frustrating thing, I think, with that, my friend, is if he goes to Manchester United, I mean, that just puts Arsenal further in the bin, because this recruitment are choosing someone that scored 43 league goals in the last 3 seasons over someone that scored 89 and allowed them to go sign with someone that finished 15th and immortalised themselves by losing to a final against Spurs. Do you know what I mean? That would just be a massive, huge kick in the teeth for me. No matter where he goes, if we miss the signing of Gyökeres, that'd be a real frustration for me, and it looks like it. But I mean, if he goes to a very, very, very poor Man United, that's just the cherry on top of the icing of the worst tasting cake you'll ever eat, my friend. But no, I do appreciate the super chat, my friend, and thank you very much. And again, I do apologise for its lateness. It's not done on purpose. I can assure you that, my friend. Suj, big up to you, man. Big up gents in the chat. Big up to you, our brother from down under, Suj, man. Always here supporting people, man. And I can promise you, just like everyone else, well, it's never not appreciated. There's always all of you guys are all in the chats, man, constantly supporting these legends. And please continue to do that. Their links, including Jez's, I've re-added it up. That's all pinned in the chat. Go and support these geezers. And then copy and paste for another legend as well. An absolute OG. He was here from day one. I think he might have even been in my very first live stream. I'm very, very, very certain that Joseph Connor Golden was. I'm certain of it. So he's here from the very start. Let's get that right, and I'll never forget that. And he said, big up plus panel. Yeah. Heard the most of AFTV. Robert Lowe had agreed terms with Sesko. Yeah. I mean, sorry, let me actually carry on what you're saying. Agreed terms of Sesko today and agreed terms of Gyökeres. Why the lies? It's just all for money, mate. All for likes, all for views, all for this and all of that. Robbie Lowe, if he ever started supporting Arsenal when he switched over from Luton, I'm not actually quite sure. He you got to get that digging in there. Come on. You've got to, haven't you? Do you know what? He started something that I believe was somewhat honest. you know, a good few years ago now, and he had real people on there, you know, and thankfully to him, we've seen El Capitan Lee have a platform, you know, and Troops and you know, Turkish, and you know, there are some good ones that have spawned from that show, and it changed YouTube.
Curtis, big up Curtis.
Yeah, Curtis, that's it. Yeah, of course. Big up to him. Just unfortunately, you know, it's not that way anymore by the fans for the fans. It's not. It's always been for the press pass for Robbie's pocket, and that's sadly what it is. So yeah, I know, Joseph, you don't ever listen to that nonsense anyway, my friend, because you've got your head screwed on, ain't you, brother? That's what it is. It's just now it's something new to say. Oh yeah, but it's just a backup plan and all that. Whatever it is, we know they're all talking rubbish. And I'll get this one a little bit quicker. Big up to Jack. Does DJB have Insta? He doesn't have any social.
I don't have Insta, no. I just have my
He's
channel.
The smartest one.
Just have my channel there, guys. That's it.
Which is pinned, my friend. It's pinned. DJB, the Arsenal huddle. You'll see it. Click on the links. Go follow all the lads. They're absolute superstars. And thank you again, my friend. So yeah, do you know what as well? What spawns from this sort of chat, and we all know that, you know, a bit of pressure is obviously on Mikel Arteta. A bit of pressure, obviously, rightly needs to be the manager. But what about the owners, man? And like, I don't know. Like, I just think, even though I do sort of appreciate Josh Kroenke, he has put money in. I think he's put enough finance in for us to have some success. I think that's absolute fact. Like, he has done that. But like, I don't know. When I'm hearing that he's not putting enough. Sorry about that, boys. When he's not putting enough funds in to this club, I don't know where I sit with this. Do we need? Sorry, let me get back on track for fuck's sake. Do we need to start putting pressure on the Kroenkes? When does that coming in? When do we start doing it? Do we start doing it now? Do we start giving him a bit more pressure after the transfer window? I'm not quite sure, because after listening to this and have a listen to this, I've got an audio clip for everyone. And this was done in 2019, yeah? It's done he said this in 2019. Let me play this for you right now, yeah? Because I don't ever get why Arsenal fans, and giving in mind that Arteta says finishing second is not success. So does Kroenke say that. Listen to this.
Our ambitions are silverware and trophies. I think that anything short of that is not a success. Our ambitions are silverware and trophies. I think that anything short of that is not a success.
Is it not loud enough?
No.
Everyone hear that?
I heard that.
Yeah.
Everybody else.
One more
Our
time.
ambitions are silverware and trophies. I think that anything short of that is not a success.
And he says it himself. Our ambition is to win silverware and trophies. And anything short of that is not success. So why is Arteta still in?
Community Shields.
Why is Arteta still in?
The only thing I can think of, Aaron, is I've said it all along. Arteta has got great issues. He would be brilliant in politics. He gets everyone believing on his side. He's brilliant with words. He's brilliant with the PR. His agent must be absolutely fantastic, right? So he sold the Kroenkes a dream, like he has all the fans.
Yeah.
When he took the job, he said to the Kroenkes, "I'll get you this. I can do this. I've worked under this guy, and I can do this." And yet, blah blah blah. And then when he started finishing runners up in the season where we weren't expected to challenge for the title, that gave him more time. Then he just missed out Then he bottled an 8-point lead, and he nearly got us over the line. Yeah, that bought him more time. So then the Kroenkes then hit him with a contract, £15 million, blah 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 blah. So I think now the Kroenkes are kind of in that position whereby we don't want egg on our face. We've given him this huge contract, and it's going to cost us X, Y, Z amount of pounds to get him out of it. So let's just stick with him. And I think they're just sticking with him, but they are fully aware now that it's gone season after season after season after season, not winning a trophy. You know, they're hearing legends of the club like Thierry Henry coming out and saying this is where we should be. They're seeing other people now coming out and saying we haven't won this, we haven't won that. Then Spurs go and win a trophy and all of this stuff. And this is where I think it's at now. But the patience will run out, and the Cronkies will start to get pressure on them. They will start to get pressure on them, because not because of the finances, but for the fact of the matter is they're sticking by this manager. But as Shane said, you're only going to get a small minority put pressure on the chairman, on the board, because they're fully behind Arteta. So why would they put pressure on the Cronkies to get him out? Do you know what I mean?
Stuck in.
Yeah.
And this is what we're stuck in. So I think it's a case of the Cronkies were sold a dream. They've bought into this contract with him, and I think they're just going to see how this season goes. And if I think Christmas is going to be a massive part of this football club. I think if Christmas is not really looking good, players are not performing, we're way off the top of the league, I think you could see a change in the owner's attitude. Me personally,
I think it'll have to be a chain reaction. It'll have to be someone like a Saliba demanding a transfer and then not getting it and coming public and saying something about the manager, and then someone else coming out, and then it'll snowball. I think that's because it's a house of cards that he's built at the moment. It's only going to take one little thing to slip out, and it'll all fall down, because we can see it. We can see it. The performances, we can see the players. Remember, like the 2 seed 22, 23, he was always on the pitch at the end, hugging the players, and everybody was all camaraderie and all. There was none of that this season. Even when we smashed Madrid and stuff like that, it wasn't that the way it was before.
Gone, isn't it?
You know what I mean? It's completely gone, and he knows it. And then his press conferences there were just. That's the first thing that needs to change for me, is he needs to start getting asked questions. I mean, look at Ange getting called a clown, man. You know what I mean? And you look back at, I often refer to Ten Hag when he was still winning cups, but every press conference that lad was getting, it was like he was getting pelted with hard questions every time, and it'd be the same ones. Why is this guy not playing? Why is he playing? Do you know that you broke this record, that United have lost such an amount of games and all this sort of stuff? Arteta, like, he got asked about the 101 year thing with no one scoring, getting into double figures. He got asked one time. Someone asked him. And again, he's the luckiest manager in the world, because these reporters are afraid to ask him a question. We know that. Even when they wanted to ask him, which one was it? I think it was about, my boss asked me to ask you, whatever way you one worded it, I've been told to ask you this. And it was a tough question. But he's the luckiest man in the world that this Henry thing came out right when he has no press conferences left, because the cowardly reporters wouldn't have to ask him directly. They go, can I get your quote on what Thierry Henry said about the injuries and what Thierry Henry said about not winning trophies? So they could still ask him that way. But he's got away with it now. He has no press conferences. By the time he's back to doing the press conferences thing, the Henry news will be chip paper. You know what I mean? It'll be gone. So we need Henry. Hopefully now, with the abuse that he's been getting, that he goes, I hope he doubles down now and says, I'm really going to go for this guy now. You know what I mean? I'd love that. I'd love him and Petit, but they get silenced. I've never seen it before. These pundits, man, they're coming out and they're saying, he's one of the best managers around, and he needs his pieces. And I remember during the Newcastle game, it panned to Berta, and Gary Neville was commentating, and he goes, I'd say Mikel Arteta's conversation with him will be very short. He'll just go in and say, these are the only two players I need, and we'll be perfect. Bang. And I'm thinking, oh my God, man, am I listening to this? Gary Neville runs a club. He sacks managers like they're nothing as well. That's the amazing thing. He's forever sacking managers, and he's been at a team that wins. It boggles the mind, man. And the only one that I'll give a pass to of these ex-Arsenal players that are backing his manager is Ian Wright. And the only reason that I'll give him a pass is I don't think he has it in him to be negative. You know what I mean? He seems like that type of guy that just doesn't have it in him to be negative. That he just he can't call for someone to lose a job like that. You know what I mean? I just, as a person, I don't think he's able to wish someone, you know, bad as in someone getting sacked. Maybe he's on the payroll, but I've seen him in videos with your man Pincus hugging him and stuff like that, and he's one of the worst for these promotional videos about how great everything is at Arsenal. So maybe he is on the payroll. The rest of them should hang their heads in shame. Parler, Keown, Seaman, all these lads should hang their heads.
Can't believe David Seaman as well. Honestly,
it's so dangerous. It's so dangerous. And when I use that word dangerous about the likes of Igal and the Mutant Channel and your man Pincus and stuff like that, I mean it. They are dangerous to my club. They're really dangerous to my club. Your man Pincus has this massive following, and all his videos say that everything's perfect. Arteta's a genius, and everybody watching it, the 120,000 subscribers he has, go, oh, everything's fine. And they're so dangerous to my club. They're worse than the board. They're worse than everything with this club because they keep him in a job. That's why we're only 3%. That is why we are only 3%. We should be 50, 60% saying we want this guy out more. It should be everybody. But it's these people painting this picture. And 15, 20 years ago, DJB and Normski and Aaron, you know yourself, before social media kicked in, this wouldn't have been an issue because they wouldn't. These dweebs wouldn't have had a voice. These fame hungry guys wouldn't have had a voice. And I know we're not going to get onto the Igal thing, but I'm just using it as a point of reference that, you know, if he's getting onto panel shows and stuff like that, if he agreed with us, he wouldn't be getting onto them because he's not getting on for his football knowledge. You know what I mean? He's getting on for his controversial opinions. So if he was with us going, get Arteta out, he'd be well down the pecking order. He wouldn't even be looked at because he knows nothing about football. And it's funny that and I'll finish on this because just about them not knowing anything about football. Your man Pincus is the one that turned around and said that, I think Vardy was better than Drogba. I mean, this is what you're dealing with. They know nothing about football as a whole. So they're just characters. I call them the Jerry Springer props. Do you remember in Jerry Springer where do you remember there was always someone that walked out and said, well, I've been sleeping with the two sisters, and then they get in a scrap. That's all they are, man. They're just there for entertainment. Like, that's it. It's all there for, man.
Like these people.
Jerry.
They're all cartoon characters, mate. That's all it is. Look,
Barney, man. Yeah.
Hey, look.
Smurfs, like, got them all there. Look, Donald Duck.
Unbelievable. No, you know what?
Well, the Smurf, sure. Gal did paint his face blue, remember? So
he did. Blue is the colour, football is the game.
With it displaying his perfect X Factor voice.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
That guitar's well out of tune.
The thing is, I mean, just talk about pundits and what they come out with. Again, today, Martin Keown coming out, and you might have seen it, guys. Right, Keown believes, PSG believes PSG, Amorim, Inter proved Arteta was right about his big Arsenal claim.
Oh my God!
Right. Well, let's go to that, people. Let's go to that. So basically, guys, right? Arteta, after the PSG second leg, after we got slapped and got beaten, he turned around and said the bench told him that we were the better side and that actually we're the best side in Europe. Well, I've got news for you. Yeah? You see these people behind me? These are the same people that told Mikel Arteta that his side was better.
Why would he come out with all this crap?
Who's holding the trophy now?
Desperation.
Yeah, it's crap.
You sent me that interview. Was that you that sent me the interview, Normski, with Enrique when they said about, did you see that with the tough opponents? And he said, well, Liverpool gave us a game and Villa were tough. No mention of Arsenal, not one mention of Arsenal. And I'd say he was enjoying that, man. I'd say, because he must have taken that as a massive insult. But the way he laughed it off was kind of like, do you know when you have to have a friend that's just an embarrassment? You know what I mean? When you have a group of friends and he goes, that's what it was. Because he goes, oh, Mikel.
Yeah. That's the Villa Liverpool gave him the tougher test. Not one mention of Arsenal over 2 legs of a season.
Villa scared the life out of them as well. Villa scared the life out of them in that second leg.
Yeah. Didn't mention
Villa
Arsenal.
Had them rattled, man.
Mate, honestly, it will never have an easier semi-final. It was won after 3 minutes.
Yeah,
they weren't out of second gear. They didn't come out of second gear. That was it. Second gear, they strolled it. Absolutely strolled it. At any stage, they could have stepped it up and smashed us. If we had gotten smart and taken a goal earlier in the game, they would have just. They didn't even break a sweat.
Especially that second leg, Shane. That second leg, they could have stepped it up at any time. They, soon as they went,
they didn't have to. It
And
didn't have to.
guys, you think they're going to stand still? Do you think PSG are going to stand still?
No, of course they're not.
Of course they're not.
They're going to win the Club World Cup, man.
Listen, man.
They're going to win that Club World Cup.
Yeah, I mean, apparently Perez has
winner.
hinted his interest in Arsenal. I mean,
No, that's all spread by these mutant channels, man. He ain't coming to us.
All saying is it? Yeah, no. I mean, like I said, it's unless it's on one of the real sort of big things. But I don't sort of see that. I think we're going to be stuck with Benjamin Sesko.
Sesko
even now,
man.
yeah. I think Fabrizio even said it's come out. I think about 18 minutes ago. Sesko will leave Leipzig this summer. That's the expectation. Last week, Arsenal had the first concrete talks to Sesko. Yeah, Arsenal started to understand the whole situation. Contract terms, the player value. I'm told it could be less than the reported 100 million. Now there is still nothing agreed as of today between Arsenal and Sesko. There is contact ongoing between all parties involved. I think making contact with Sesko is showing how concrete Arsenal's interest is for Fabrizio Romano.
Yeah, no. Yeah, if we were going for Gyökeres, we would have bid for him already. He's got a release
100%. I've said it months and months and months. Like, I do get it if there would be a wiggle room for negotiations, but do you know what I also said? Get him on the first minute of yesterday, 12 o'clock. That's it. The second it is, just get the clause, pay the clause.
Let him have what he wants.
Yeah. Don't mess around.
Yeah, just get in. Show you're serious for the fans. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, but another thing is, do you know the cynical side of me? I want him to have everything he wants, this manager. I want him to have Gyökeres. I want him to have Sesko. I want him to have Zubimendi. I want him to have Nico Williams. Get him what he wants. Because when he fails, with all these players in place, all these signings, on top of the players we've already got, and he fails, you can then turn around and say, where do we go from here? What are you blaming now?
Yeah. See, I'm with Aaron on this as well, though. We also want players that won't be a disaster when he's gone. You know what I mean? We can't sacrifice the club. But I do think they are young enough, Zubimendi and Sesko, and they must have something about them. They must have something about them.
Yeah.
Like that Inzaghi could get a song out of them.
Yeah.
He could get a song out of them. But just on predictions as well, because Aaron mentioned
Sesko's still an upgrade on Everton, isn't he?
No, he's an upgrade. He's an actual forward. He is an upgrade.
Yeah,
but
he's
just
an
on predictions.
Any decent manager should be able to get a tune out of him.
Well, this is the thing, guys. Sorry, just quickly. It was said on a certain channel that Gyökeres and Sesko, right, are not an upgrade on Havertz.
What?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Wow.
Because they've spent the whole time promoting these players.
Yes.
They spent the whole time promoting these players.
What they do, this is what baffles me, guys, because when I was listening to this particular person, because I have to scrutinize this guy, and when I was listening to him, I said, you know what, I'm going to need a degree in maths. I said, I'm going to need a degree in maths, because by the time I finished, I ended up in this place. I was like, guys, I'm in the classroom, right? So, guys, look. I just see the light bulb was behind me. I had this light bulb moment, and I said it was equation after equation, expected goals against penalties taken, bloody. It was just going on. Let me just get my calculator out. Well, that's 5.6 of the penalties per 90. Bloody.
So they go on.
And they came up. Sorry. Go
I was going to say, do you know what you just reminded me of? That Rory Talks Football came out and he done like this like video thing, and he was like basically saying, "Oh, Arsenal fans, think it was like bad losing." We all knew the narrative was going to be, the eventual winners PSG and all that. But did you see what he said specifically?
The XG thing.
Yeah, he goes,
oh
there's
my
only
God.
6 teams.
We're all running with that.
You know what he's like?
AFTV went with that as well.
Oh, what, did we win the XG trophy? Did we win the XG trophy?
They only lost 6 games on XG.
Oh,
Two of those games that they lost on XG. They beat us, though.
Guys, we've won the treble.
He makes a great point about this XG is that if Haaland is clean through on a League 2 keeper, it's the same XG as, say, Nketiah being clean through on Donnarumma. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't take into sense. It doesn't come into the fact that we're in a semi-final and we can't handle them. It doesn't take any of that into effect.
Exactly.
But I did want to just land on this because I know it's completely off. It's off topic, but we're talking about predictions. What did I say a few months back? I said that about ambition. I said, even if Tottenham win the Europa League and we don't win anything, that there's more chance of them sacking Ange than us sacking Arteta. Months ago, I said that.
Facts.
So that's the ambition, man. Ambition. Completely different ambition, man.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Just quickly, while we run with that, I want to say big up to Doolin as well. Big up to your brother. I'm not 100% sure if I'm reading this right. So if I've read it wrong, rewrite it in the chat and I'll resort say it. But is Arteta still the cause? It takes force of Kroenke. I'm assuming maybe
they're still in because it takes force of Kroenke. He's still in a job, like I think he means.
He's also
yeah. I mean, if that is the way, and Shane's right in saying that, 100%. Like he's managed to convince him to give him 2 contracts as well. By the way, not only to just sign him in the first place, but to give him 2 new contracts. One of which makes him the second highest player in the world. So he's got him absolutely wrapped around.Maybe sort of now, which is maybe why he's hired Berta. He's sort of coming around and thinking, maybe in his own words, if he's here to win trophies, in Kroenke's own words, you listen to it, bruv. To win trophies and anything else is success, then why has he allowed Mikel Arteta 5 years to bring him just that? And hopefully this is towards the end. But again, to tie back to my other point, it's very, 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 very frustrating to sort of know that with this manager in a job, we're all going into it like, ugh. Do you know when you're going into work on a Monday and you've had a heavy weekend? Say you've gone out and it's your mate's stag do or something like that, and you've overdone it, and then you've got to go to work on Monday and your bastard of an alarm goes off, and then you look at it and you're like, oh, got to get up and go. That's what starting the season feels like for me as an Arsenal fan.
Yeah,
it really does. The alarm's gone off. It's 6 a.m. and you're like, Jesus Christ, I could deal with anything other than going to work today. That's what starting this season feels like for me as an Arsenal fan. I'm not looking forward to it. And do you know what one of the worst things as well is, and I said this on DJB's last night, I had to, when I got into the payment to renew my season ticket and I knew how much I was giving this football club, it hurt me. I'm not going to lie, but I'm with my bank, and you got to prove you get like it sends you a code, doesn't it? And then you've got to prove the payment's yours. And I did, and then it clicks confirm, and I'm not gonna lie, that it hurt me a little bit, just in knowing that I'm transferring you all of this money for the whole of next season, and I know without shadow of a doubt I'm not going to enjoy the vast majority of it, and I know then that you get countered by saying, "Well, why'd you do it?" 1, because hopefully this match is gone soon, and I have a bit of belief, but 2, I don't want a gal sat in my seat. Do you know what I mean? Not let it go anyway, but I'm using that as I don't want a gal sat in my seat. I don't want that. This is not what the football club needs. And it's got to actually such a disappointing sort of bit where I said this to Lee off cam, and we was having a chat, and I was like, I'm not gonna lie, mate. Like I might because obviously the season starts in August, doesn't it? I was like, look, I'm gonna see how we start the season and how the window goes, and if it really don't go how I want it to, I might just sell the vast majority of games, because it's getting to a point where I'm giving everything. I'm giving a lot of time to Arsenal on YouTube as well, but that's a slightly different thing. But also, I'm happy doing this. I enjoy this side of Arsenal. I don't enjoy paying a lot of money, going and traveling to Arsenal Football Club, watching a load of shit, and coming back, and then I've missed my son's tournament. I've missed him win a match game, and I've missed him score a goal. And do you know what I mean? I've missed taking the kids out somewhere. You know what I mean? Oh, they've gone to the ball pits or a park, whatever they're doing, playing. Oh, where's Aaron? Oh, he's watching Arsenal draw 0-0 at Everton at home. Do you know what I mean? It takes its toll on someone, and I'm just sitting there and I just think to myself, do you know what? Maybe it might just be that case where I just might have to keep transferring the tickets away every game, because I don't want to do that. Of course I don't. It's heartbreaking to have to admit that on camera. Admit that to a guy who's been going for 50 years. It really is. It hurts me. I'm not bullshitting you.
Horrible,
it pains me to the fact that I have got to this stage, and I, outside of my family, there isn't anything that kills me and hurts me and upsets me and demoralizes me more than Arsenal Football Club. And on the flip side of that, there's nothing that makes me feel as excellent and buzzing and fucking wonderful when we win. Like, honestly, the FA Cup final, like, you know, that was at 2017, you know, slightly different to the one in 20 because no one was there. It was on the telly. That's a buzzing feeling I can't replace with anything else outside family. I'll always be hooked to Arsenal Football Club. I'll always be a bit of a junkie of the club. That'd be fact. But the fact that someone like me gets to that stage, that says everything you've got to know about where we are as a football club. That fans like me who love the club to bits. I wake up. I'm not even. This sounds a little bit woo. But I wake up almost every single morning, and the first thing I think about is Arsenal Football Club. It just is. I'm not even shitting you. It just is. I sit up and like it is almost instantaneous thoughts, and it's not even good thoughts. Like what we doing here today? I think about Arsenal. Bang! I woke up right. Arsenal Football Club, and then it's like Arsenal Football Club. It's such a shame. It's such a shame, man. I like it. Where are you at with sort of this? Because I don't know, DJB. Like, I don't want to drone on about my Arsenal thing anymore. But are you ever getting to that stage, 50 years of that, where you'd ever sort of like think,
yeah, it's this season's taken it out of me. I've got to be honest. For the first time, I remember like a Terry Neal era where I was a bit down, but we got to finals under him. So there was always that little hope, and there was them times. I think this season, more than any season, not because of the expectations, because we was built up on expectations, and we've been living on expectations for the last sort of 2 or 3 seasons. You know, just falling short of the Premier League, running Manchester City close, not getting over the line, getting to quarterfinals, Champions League, semi-finals this season. That's what done it for me. That semi-final really hurt me because we've been a poor club in Europe. We've been a poor club in Europe. Our history in Europe is absolutely appalling. And we've never won the Champions League. And I'm not getting any younger now. It's like I want to see England win a World Cup before I leave this earth. I want to see Arsenal win a Champions League. So he really let me down now. I've got to be honest, as a manager, because I was looking at that game in that semi-final, and I was saying, why didn't he try this? Why didn't he put Martinelli down the middle? Why didn't he bring Wanyeri on in the 10 and perhaps change it up a bit? Try something different. We're going out. We're 2-0 down. We need a goal. We need to get this into extra time. We need something different. Try something different. We haven't won the Champions League. Never won the Champions League in our history. Go for it. Be bold. Be brave. If he'd have done that and we'd have lost and PSG had have scored again, I probably would have gone, well, at least he tried something different. At least he went for it. Yeah? At least he tried a Martinelli down the middle. Yeah. Funny enough, the following game, he did, didn't he? He put Martinelli down the middle and he scored, right? And I'm thinking to myself, why didn't you do that against PSG? You know, just try something different. Be bold, be brave. So all of these things that have added up to the icing on the cake for me this season, where I've sort of looking at away games and thinking, I can't drag myself along there. I can't do it. I can't justify going all around the motorway. I can't justify jumping on a train and going 2-3 hours on a train, paying all this money. By the time you pay your ticket, by the time you pay your food, your drink money, your transport, your petrol, and I'm thinking, what's the point just to watch boring crap football? Because it's been crap this season. And that's another thing. Even back in the day when we've had hard times, so at least you've had something, or a player or something that's got you off your seat and got you excited. I've had none of that this season. It's been same old. Do you know
what, DJB, though? The problem with that as well,
and
bud.
It's tired, mate. I'm tired of it.
Like these like I hear Christian say this a lot. And when he's referencing about what's right with Arsenal, usually after Lee Gunner's absolutely destroyed him, he comes out and says, "Oh, but we've been playing good football."
Yeah, that's shocking.
Honestly, and he's not the only one. There's a lot of them that are using. But we're playing good football. I could probably list you probably about 6 games maybe where we played good football last season, and 4 of them weren't for 90 minutes. They were only for half time.
They were more the other teams collapsing though as well, Aaron. They were more just the other teams collapsing.
I said it yesterday. I said it yesterday when I was on with Matty, and it summed it up. We are a moments team. We live in the moment. Our fans live in the moment. The team lives in moments. The Man City 5-1 was a moment in time. The following game, we were back to square one. We were awful. Yeah, we live in moments. Real Madrid, the brilliant free kicks by Rice. They're just moments. The Crystal Palace in the Carabao Cup, you know, the West Ham away again. They've just been moments. That's all they are. They're just moments. Nothing's been consistent this season. There hasn't been a run of games where we've been like banging, bang on it, bang, bang, bang. Even the Leicester at home at the Emirates, appalling. Southampton, appalling.
Ipswich is one of the worst.
West Ham at home, appalling. Aston Villa away. How they never whipped us that day, I do not know. I was there when Watkins missed that sitter. I'm thinking, how's he missed that? We were terrible.
The thing is, as well, DJB, even with 2 of those matches, with the Crystal Palace one, like Saka snapped his hamstring in that because he's being flogged. You know what I mean? So there was that on it as well. And then even with the West Ham one, we were 4-0 up and fell asleep and let 2 goals in. So even those games had things that should have been won. The Madrid one, and the only times that we smashed teams this season is when they have come in with tactics that suit his plan A. That's it. That's it. If any team has a tactic that doesn't suit his plan A, he's done. He's done. That's every other game.
We saw it against PSG in the second leg. He was reverting to long ball. It was like watching Wimbledon.
Long ball and long throws. It was terrible. We were done in that game. I remember watching that, and we came at them for 20 minutes. As soon as that 20 minutes is over, they started attacking. I turned around to Carl, who was watching the stream, and me, I said, "It's over now." Because the players were so shattered, they only had 20 minutes in them, and he knew it. So he tried to crush them for 20 minutes. I think
that's the biggest problem for me, though. I think to wrap it up this season for me, I think the biggest problem is that I feel let down. If he'd have tried everything, if the club had done the right thing at the start of the season, brought in a striker, tried something different, won me a trophy, Carabao. If they'd have won a Carabao Cup and we fell short of Liverpool, I'd have gone, okay, we got our striker. He scored 18 goals. We've done everything we can. We've still won a trophy. We've had a day out at Wembley. We've had a semi-final. We've got a trophy. Semi-final. We've fallen short. It wouldn't have been that bad a season. But the fact of the matter is that we've come out with absolutely nothing. Depressing. The football's been terrible. And to top it all, you see Spurs go and win a European trophy. That, to me, was it. I was so angry that night when Spurs won that trophy. Not so much that Spurs won. Well, that was one of the things. The fact that they have gone and won a European trophy before us.
Yeah.
That's what hurt. Do you know what I mean?
We'll hear that from them until we win something better.
Well, we've got to put up with them now. You've got Villa, Champions of Europe, you'll never sing that. You've got Forest fans singing it to us. You've got West Ham fans singing it to us.
Spurs will sing it to us now.
Man United, and now you're going to have Spurs rock up, and they will sing it for 90 minutes. Even if they're getting panned 3 or 4-0, that's all they'll sing the whole way through. And the worst thing is, Aaron, where I sit is right above the away fans.
But they're going to be singing that hard, man. And you imagine when we go down to their ground next
season. The each stand right on the corner, 114, right above the away fans, and I'm going to hear it all the way through. It's painful, mate. And these top gooners don't realise because they're not there.
No.
Yeah. They don't have to witness it.
Yeah.
It wouldn't even affect them if they were.
Nice.
Wouldn't even affect them if they were.
Yeah.
They sing it
They
all
don't
the
care.
time, don't they? It's horrible being in that stadium. Because where I sit, you're right above them. Where I sit on the corner, they're in my eyesight from the North Bank. So obviously, I'm sat right there on that corner, and I can literally see the fans throughout the whole game. The away fans, they are in perfect view of me, and to hear them at the Chelsea games, honestly, it even if you're beating them 5-0 and they sing it, it's just like, yeah, we're not even going to win the league from this. Nothing's coming from this game. Okay,
They're even worse in the semi-final. PSG, where I sit, we have the PSG fans, corporates. And they have to have a section of the stadium to let their corporate sit. And it's at my block. It's like a 6-7 rows in front of me. So we've got the PSG fans jumping up and down in front of me as well. And it's just like, this manager, just do something different. Try something. Change your tactics. But he can't do it. And this is what I'm saying. I'm no doubt if you get him on the training ground as not the main man, he's okay as a coach. I'm no doubt that he's going to go places and do stuff, but as a manager with the sole running of the football club, he can't cut it. He's
it's a lot different. It's a lot different to put that goal.
It's over, mate. It's over.
Yeah, you can put
top coaches don't necessarily make good managers.
Yeah. And yeah, that's just absolute fact. Sorry, Long, what were you going to say, bud?
No, I'm just saying it's a lot better than putting out cones. You know what I mean? For him,
yeah, he is that old cone boy, isn't he? You know what?
But it's the whole thing, because he's taken. You're managing the whole club now. Literally, he got his name changed from a coach to a manager. So now he's managing everything and literally making decisions on everything now. And that's the worrying thing for me is that, with Berto in, it still seems like he's still got the majority of power.
Yeah, it's worrying, isn't it? It is worrying.
That's just worrying, man. Do you know what I mean?
Dude, I'll get yours after this. Just ties in with what I'm saying right now. Big up to Johnny, someone who's actual proper football fan. And it was a pleasure to have him on as well on Friday night, man. A pleasure to listen to what it's and he talks some bloody sense. I mean, you can read that he talks sense, but it was very, 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 very nice to have him on the show on Friday. And trust me, people like you are always welcome. That's why I do the call-in shows to get voices who don't have channels on this and all of that. And yeah, Johnny, it was an absolute pleasure, man. And appreciated as always. 800 million euros down the drain. Exactly. Talent ideas, shit. Facts. Arteta has to go. Double, treble, quadruple facts. He's about to spend €1 billion and no closer. 800 mil buys you a Prem with a smart man. With smart spend, sorry. Arteta out. Top Gooners out. Do you know what, man? One, everything you said is absolute fact. It will be going to $1 billion. That's the worrying thing. But we all know now, like you quite rightly say, in the next bit, the talent ID shit, that means that the vast majority of that billion is wasted.
Yeah.
Like, that's actually mad when you think about it. The vast majority of that £1 billion has been wasted. And whilst I can sort of appreciate that, the Cronkies, pardon me, still need to take some flack for this whole sort of bit. They've given a manager £1 billion to spend over five transfer winners, 5 summers or 6 summers transfer winners. That's a lot. That is backing. There's no one that can say he hasn't been backed. I suppose then the only thing you can take from the Cronkies is why on earth are they still leaving him, letting him here? Like, why are they still allowing him to have this? So I suppose then it also takes from the fact that whilst they're backing them financially, they're just backing the wrong horse. Isn't it? They just are backing the wrong horse.
Which of the players he signed, Aaron, of all the players he signed, which one would he make a profit of? Which one of them would he be able to sell on for a profit? Gabriel, maybe?
Gabriel. Yeah.
Timber was 50 million. I don't know with the injuries that they have now as well. You got to take a bit off them. Will Gabriel come back the same? Timber's injury prone now. I don't see any player really. He'd never get that money back on Rice. He'd never get that money back on Rice. It's not a hope. Trossard, of course, he's getting older now. He'd never get it back on him. Havertz, you'd be lucky to get 15 million for that guy. Jesus, people wouldn't even take him for free because of his wage.
You make a profit.
He wouldn't get money back on anything. Calafiore's already dropped about 10-15 million in one season. You know what I mean? They're all. Saliba was signed by Emery, so it's not even his signing. So that's the only one that you get a massive profit off. One that he didn't sign. So, like, I mean, you can talk about all the money he spent. The only way we'll make money is from Hale End. Nothing to do with him.
Yeah, facts.
Do you know another
giving
thing?
it all to the wrong bloke, couldn't they? They shouldn't fucking hide him in the first place. And why they kept him for 5.5 years is just even worse.
Aaron, can I just say this, right? The problem, what we've got to be careful of as well, is that we concentrate so much on getting the likes of Sesko or Gorkarez, whoever it is, that there's going to be other players on the market that we're not even going to look at, like Mbeumo now from Brentford, apparently going. Yeah,
he was a perfect signing.
As Jez said earlier on, Eze, and I said this in my show yesterday. Eze, would be an absolute baller at our club. Probably not under this manager, but under the next manager. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And one of my biggest worries is that we're going to concentrate so much on getting this Sesko or Gorkarez and everything else that all these other players are going to be going to these other clubs, and we're just going to only end up with 2 signings. I still think we're going to only end up with 2 signings. That's it. Because he's got Moreno that he can play in the 9. He's got Avert that he will always play. Yeah. He's got, he's got his defence. Let's not forget Tomiyasu's got to come back.
Well, Bert is giving them all the loan players.
Whenever that is, no one knows.
Right? Yeah. We've got Sambi Lokonga coming back. We've got Sambi Lokonga coming back, chat. Yes, you got it. Sambi Lokonga's coming back.
Yeah. Well, but I think Bert is giving him those loans and saying you better play them.
Right.
Because
so
money on
don't be surprised if we get Sesko or Gorkarez. I reckon we'll only make 2 signings.
We'll get some. What they'll do is they'll drag the signings out all summer. DJB, they keep saying it's closer, it's closer, it's closer. Then when there's about 2 days left, we'll see Sesko and Zubimendi in a jersey, some crappy loan, and then there'll be no time to go, well, what about the rest? Because the transfer window will
Your loan signing, Shane, will be a goalkeeper because he's missed out on the Garcia guy.
It'd be another joke of a goalkeeper,
yeah.
And then maybe Sane on a free.
David De Gea would have been a brilliant backup as a number 2, but they've missed out on him.
Would have been a good number 1.
Yeah, or pushing Raya for number 1 spot, David De Gea, but he's missed out.
He's not good with his feet, so he can't play at left back like Raya.
We'll end up with a pokey old loan signing goalkeeper. Yeah. But he swears blind by Calafiori, and I don't think Skelly should be playing at left back. I think Skelly should be our creative midfield player. Skelly should be our creative midfield player. Skelly should be our agent. Yeah. Our Rodgers.
Yeah, he should be. Yeah, he'd be brilliant at it.
Big up.
If you had him in Wanyeri, I don't care how young they are. Sorry.
No, you're good. Yeah, no, you're right, man. But big up to Suj as well. Has been jumping on the Friday shows. And again, just same like Gianni, man. It's an absolute pleasure to have you guys jumping on, man. And listen to your football knowledge, it's fantastic, absolute legend. And he's, I know, he's considering us getting Sesko, and I know that you wouldn't be too happy with that. Williams, I think everyone. Well, I mean, we all wouldn't be too happy with that. I just don't see him really improving that much. What we've got, Leroy Sane, I would take as a squad rotational backup. This manager don't rotate.
William.
I know, yeah. Oh, I'd give it a go because it's low risk, high reward. That's why I'd give that a go. A little bit better than the Sesko. I would. We need some numbers in that squad, that forward line, DJB. And it's just a free signing. That's the only reason I'd do it. If there was money involved, I'd say no because they'd end up spending 30 million on him.
True. Just worries me.
I totally get that. There could be a very realistic chance he goes down the William route, but there also could be a chance he don't. Do you know what I mean? I can get people on both sides of that fence. I just think he can play right and the left-hand side. Yeah. Maybe he does give a bit of cover, but he don't rotate anyway.
Go and get Bowie. He can play on the right. He can play down the centre. He can play as a 10. He can play as an out striker.
And you know what? Suj has got a 4th signing, and he wants to complete the pet family, and he's going for a cat as well.
Get a cat.
We call him Draw. Isn't it?
Draw,
so we'll have win the dog and draw the cat. Yeah.
Call him Point. 1 point.
1 point, innit? Yeah. Oh, Juan. I don't know. Fucking cat. Meow, innit? Yeah, Gianni, big up to you, brother. The only reason I got hired is because the PR told a lie. Yeah, I love you. I love this shit, man. Yeah, about the Ancelotti situation at Napoli.
Oh, he's brilliant
Yeah.
at it, mate.
No,
Brilliant.
yeah, he is, mate. No reason he shouldn't have got the job. Boy, man, it's madness, yeah, that Ancelotti went to Everton, man. And it weren't too far away in time. Like, and that's the worrying thing. And that's what I was sort of saying, because it was never really solely about Inzaghi. It was just the fact that why are we not taking opportunities when they come here? Stick or twist. And this club's too afraid to twist. Petrified of twisting. How can you choose Mikel Arteta at that particular time as well? I mean, he still ain't got CV now. Let's get it right. But at the time where he hadn't even managed before, he managed one game for Man City and lost it. Apologies for that. I should get my stats right next time. Yeah. So his only CV was managing one game and then he lost it over Carlo Ancelotti.
Yeah.
That
Crazy.
just tells you everything you need to know. And how?
He's gone in there and blinded them with science. That's what he's done. He's just gone in there, blinded them with science.
Yeah.
Like, these guys haven't got Scooby-Doo. Yeah, they ain't got Scooby-Doo.
Yeah. It's all because of the PR. The only reason he got hired is because of the PR. The only reason he's got 2 new contracts is because of the PR. The only reason he's still here because it's the bloody PR. It's nothing else. That's the only thing he's good at. Because he's not really good at coaching. He's not good at that.
If I come to you, yeah, and I want to come and manage your company, right? You're going to ask me what experience have I got in managing another company or whatever. I'll say I'm coming as a manager. You're going to ask me well, I used to bring in the teas and biscuits and stuff like,
sugar up a little bit.
I used to go up to the director's room and they said, look, what do you want? Biscuits? What, custard creams? What? Yeah, some of these, what? So the thing is, these managers that are getting paid, this is what's crazy about the whole thing. This guy's on 15.6 million. Right, they rewarded him with 15 points. The same Josh Kroenke turned around and said that we need to win silverware. Yes, that's success, trophies and silverware. So what's stopping you? Why are you looking at this and thinking, well, you've not won us nothing in 5.5 years, right? Surely I'll be looking at my bank thing and going, hang on a minute, we've spent £750 million and you're showing me one FA Cup, which wasn't even with your team.
Yeah. And it was after 6 months.
And after 6 months, I mean, it's just.
I think he's going to be under a lot of pressure, Normski. I really do. I do still think when you think about it, right, every single game from day one, he has to perform now, doesn't he? He has to perform. If he gets the signings right from the off, he's got to win games right from the off.
I mean, he's under loads of pressure.
And he can't even handle a semi-final of a Carabao Cup. I don't know how he's going to handle next season.
Mate, do you know what? We need to start that season well. Like, you look at Liverpool, yeah? They started the season, went off to an absolute flyer, and they never looked back, did they? No one put them under pressure. They started that campaign. I couldn't tell you for exact stats. But probably after about 7-8 games, they won that league.
And they'll do the same again, Aaron. And they'll do the same again. With the players they're bringing in and the players they've got, they'll do the same again.
Do you know what? I was saying to this off cam, but I was watching a Liverpool fan, a YouTuber, Jamie Phillips, and he's a nice lad. I was watching him yesterday, and I tell you what, they are having an absolute ball over there, ladies and gentlemen. They're having a ball over there. I went in his chat, and they're all like Jamie himself has got like the bald cap on with the glasses, looking like Slot. He's having a great time. Do you know what I mean? In think to him, they're all talking about being champions to 20. Then they're all about in the summer transfer window. They're all loving it that they've instantaneously replaced Trent. They've got Kirkes nearly knocking on the door. They're signing Florian Wirtz. It's looking like, which also, by the way, reminds me of when Ozil signed for Real Madrid. That's what that's going to be like. Not when he signed for Arsenal, of course, but when he signed for Real Madrid, it stinks of that. Absolutely stinks of that. And Ozil was a baller for Real Madrid. They're loving it, mate. They was honestly that their whole fan base is absolutely buzzing, and that's off the back of winning the Premier League. So now look at what Arsenal do. Arsenal are all buzzing after we beat Real Madrid 3-0. What was the next day? Transfer deadline day. That fucking brought everyone down straight away, didn't it? Yeah, we won't be doing nothing. Yeah, straight after. It's just doom after doom, or even if there is good, it's just doom the next day again. Liverpool, what are they doing? They do what Sir Alex Ferguson done better than no one else. When you're on top, you stay on top. And that's when you really need to make the signings more. Do you know what I mean? Like Alex Ferguson was phenomenal at win the league and go sign Rooney, win the league, go get these lot in, these lot that. He done it over 3 or 4 different teams that he built. It's madness. You know, they've gone, all right, yeah, you know, we didn't spend anyone. Oh no, they bought Chiesa in 40 million. Now they've got loads of dough to spend and some sellable assets. And now they're bringing in top boys, top players. Verts is the signing that everyone would want as a new number 10. If someone says, all right, number 10, who do you want? Everyone's going Verts. Almost every single one is. They're getting him. They are getting him.
And he wants to go there. That's the thing. He wants to go there.
Thank you very much, Normski. And that's exactly what I was going to say. And he wants to go there. Why does he want to go there? Because he's seen a manager take a team that apparently everyone wrote off. I mean, to be fair, I'll call myself out. I didn't think Liverpool would have won the league last year. I put them down as first. So hands up. Absolutely, yeah. Hands up. I'll be honest with that. But, you know, they've come in. They've done the job. And they didn't spend anything. What do you reckon they're going to do this summer?
Yeah.
There you go. So off the back of us, guess what we've done? We've coming off the back of last summer where we've made money, and now we're going to have our summer, but we're being it with Cesco's. They're getting best in business, best in house. You know what I mean? They ain't getting the house wine. They're getting the 5K Jez wine. Do you know what I mean? They're getting a proper Godfather of Arsenal Jezza bottle of wine. Do you know what I'm saying? They're loving it over there. I'm telling you, they're absolutely having a ball over there. And then I come back to ours, and then it's just like, well, yeah, you know, we're getting Cesco and his amazing 43 goals. Wow. That's fantastic. Is that supposed to lift me, is it? The fact that we might be overspending on Cesco. The same Cesco, by the way, whose highest league scoring was in the last 3 years was 16 in the Austrian league. And then he moved to Germany. He found that too difficult because he got 14 the next season. And he only got bloody 13 this season. Oh, but you can't even make it up.
Yeah, but what they're saying is basically like, you know, they're comparing him against Gyökeres because, you know, Cesco's all-round game is better. Plus, he's playing in a much harder league. And, you know, you can't really name any other strikers after Gyökeres. You know what I mean? The guy's banging in 50-plus goals, right? Back-to-back in terms of amount of goals that he scored in the GA and everything. If he came under another manager, if Gyökeres came to Arsenal, yes, it's a much harder league. Even if you score half of the goals, that's the point of a striker. The point of a striker is to score goals. That's how I understand it. Unless they've got another job to do, you know what I mean? But maybe under Arteta, it's probably playing goal or something. I don't know.
They centre off.
Yeah. These top gooners, Norms, they're just dressing up Cesco now because they know that they're getting them, so they have to back their manager. This is what they do. They're trying to find any reason to make out that this is signing. So they go, like you said, with all this mathematics and numbers, and he runs the channels and he does this and that. Yeah, I'd love to see their faces now if it was a smoke show. It's not going to happen. I'm just being hypothetical. And we did get Gyökeres. They'd have to rapidly backtrack, and they would as well. They'd go, oh, yeah, it was genius what we did, and we always wanted Gyökeres. And this is what they do, man. And the thing is that all the people putting out these stats, they're all these Rorys and they're all these Egals and all these lads that know nothing about football. They know absolutely nothing about football because they don't watch football. They go by stupid stats.
They're like in their mid-20s. Sort of like early. When I say early 30s, I'm not including Aaron in this because Aaron knows it all. You know what I'm saying? But it's that final group, and they all look the same. They all look the same. They all talk the same.
Yeah.
I was watching yours.
XG and all these ridiculous things that mean nothing.
And I didn't actually realize that the guy that says it's a different knock. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. Field tilt and all this sort of shit.
I'll send you that clip if I watch tomorrow, Shane.
He is an actor. He's an actor, and the guy will convince anybody because just the way he's talking. If you just listen to the way he just talks, it's so dramatic. You know, the way he delivers it.
But he went to drama school. I didn't even know it. I said it today on my stream. Look at this punt, because his full name, I think, is Alexander Moneypenny. That's actually his name, man.
Oh, is it Moneypenny? Is it Moneypenny?
Alexander Moneypenny. That's his full.
I'll fucking come back to that. What that geezer?
I looked it up today on my stream. His name is
Moneypenny.
Alexander Moneypenny. Alexander Moneypenny. That's his name, right? And I looked it up, and then I was saying on stream, and said, I bet you that chap went to drama school or something. Someone put up a chat. No, he did. So I looked it up. Yeah, he went to drama school, failed actor, and he had all his mug shots and all without the beard. Alexander Moneypenny. My name is Alexander.
Oh, he's basically a failed actor. Yeah, he's gone down the football.
No. Rory's different now. This is Alex. This is the knock on, or the, what's it called? The
guy with a different knock.
Different knock. Yeah. His name's Alex, isn't it? Alexander Moneypenny. Yeah. He would have got weighed in back in the day if he went in talking about football. But the thing is, these guys know nothing about football, and they're the ones I saw. First one I clicked into was the injuries. Are the injuries our fault? And of course, he had stats that there's been more hamstring injuries than ever now, and he said he blames it more on the governing body of football for the amount of games they make these players play. He didn't mention, he had stats and percentages. He didn't have that only 3% of hamstring injuries are grade 3 hamstring injuries. He didn't have that stat, but he had other stats. So they just pick the stats that they want and then put them up. But that's what they're doing with Sesko now. They're saying that he's great and that he's, he's going to suit us because of this and because of that. No, he's not great. And he's not going to suit us. He's going to suit Arteta. He's going to suit Arteta. His master plan of, I can't take the blame on this. He's going to suit him, but he won't suit my club. And these people that keep gassing these things up, that's why I get so frustrated. And that's why every morning I have a section where I just go through them, because it's not even about just being funny. It's because they are destroying my club. The club that we love, the club that Aaron talks so passionately about there, saying that he gets up and he thinks about them. I'm the same. They don't. They all want to, all their aim is to get on TalkSport and to get on Sky Sports and all that stuff. We're not doing it for that. We're doing it because we love our club. That's the big difference. So we're being genuine. They're being false. Everything they do is false. And when you go into the YouTube studio thing, you can see the sort of the demographics of the people that watch it, the ages and stuff like that. I guarantee you, if Gal went into his, I'd say about 80% are under 16. I'd say about 80% of them are under 16. And same with Rory and same with all these lads. I'd say they're just all kids that go, because they don't want to be told the truth. They just want to be told to live in a fairyland where everything's great and we have to look forward to this and we have to look. Benjamin Sesko could become the best centre. This is what you're dealing with.
Not under this manager.
Not under any manager, but especially not this manager.
When you were just saying that, I was like, I'm sure I've got a photo saved here on the Sesko thing that would sync nicely with what you're saying. And this just epitomises it from the pagan. Future of our goals is secured, padlock. That's that. Throw away the key. It's done. As long as he's here, the future of our goals is absolutely secured. Look no
13
further.
goals.
Benjamin Sesko could become the best centre forward in world football.
No chance. No.
What?
It's just sensationalism,
man. Doing here, man. And this is the problem, everyone. This is the problem because whilst I never really sort of clip in when I have a little look at how much tweets or retweet whatever it bloody is that they got. The thing is people are looking at this in their thousands, in their hundreds, probably of thousands, and then instantly what they've took of that, because none of these football fans or modern football fans or definitely top gooners, they'll look at this and go, they'll be scrolling through their phone and go, oh, we've secured Sesko, oh, one of the best centre-backs and forwards in the world. And then they'll go tell their mate, like, oh, yeah, he's shit hot. They won't even look at his stats. They've never seen him play. And then all of a sudden, we're getting that Sesko. Apparently, he's shit hot. He is, son. Do you know what I mean? And then it just spreads. It goes around. And then, you could honestly say, oh, have you ever seen him play? Well, nah, but he's shit hot, isn't he? Everyone knows that. Like, do you know what I mean? Oh, do they? And that's the problem. This is the problem, because you get popular outlets like this that are saying this crap. Do you know what, even in it sort of thing? So let's just take the second sentence of this. Benjamin Sesko could become the best centre forward in world football. We don't know that. He probably won't, but maybe he will go on to have a good career. The problem with it is the first line. The future of our goals is secured. That's the damage. That's the damage right there. The second bit is uncomplimentary nonsense. But the first bit, the future of our goals is secured. How the fuck can you say that from a geezer who's got 43 goals in the last 3 seasons?
Aaron, I'm confused because
that hasn't actually signed yet as well.
Even though they're saying the future of our goals are going to be secured, yet you've got other content creators saying that actually Sesko and Gokares are not of the caliber of Havertz. So where do we stand with this?
Yeah, exactly.
Where do we stand? Because you've got one section saying, oh, they want him, but they're saying that they've got nothing on Havertz. So you know what's going to happen at the start of the season, which we don't want to see, because you're going to be spending X amount of millions on this geezer, right? Havertz will start the first game of the season because he has to fit in the puzzle. Yeah. I don't care about anybody else. He must play. Yeah. And
you're rotating. You're bang on, Nums. You're rotating. Yeah,
of course, you will. And like I said, don't be surprised if we all know that Odegaard's meant to need surgery. Don't be surprised if Arteta waits in the summer to get him that surgery, just so he's out for a few games at the start and he could drop Havertz back into midfield as well. Don't be surprised that he would do something like that. That's what he does, man. He does anything to suit himself. I wouldn't put it past a man to do it. I would not put it past him to do it.
Good old Park Club.
Big up to Clock and Curtis as well, man. Been seeing you in the chat recently. What an absolute legend. I went on your Insta as well. Do you know what I mean? At some of your away games and all of that you've been to.
I've seen some of his. What they call it. Big up to him, man.
Clock and Curtis.
Nice. Yeah, big up to you, man. Do you know what I mean? Another proper fan. Thank you very much. And you're right as well. It's been a very, very slow transfer market, and it sort of always is. And it's mad how we sort of say that it's only the second, and we're sort of saying that. But do you know what the problem is? The pace of everything's determined by who's the quickest. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about a 100-meter sprint, what is fast? I don't know. Fast is whoever finishes first. No, that's what fast is.
Yeah.
Right. And so like, yes, people will say, and I always go on other channels that are far from my own opinion, and they'll say, what's everyone getting their knickers in a twist for? I don't understand it. We're only in day 2. Tell that to Liverpool then, that replaced their right back. They got Kirkiston and signed one of the best 10s in the world football, and also one of the youngest 10s in world football, so they could potentially have that position sewed down for 10, 15 years. Just saying that. I mean, he'll probably want to go to Real Madrid at some point, but you get the gist of what I'm saying. He'll have some good years at Liverpool. And then you're seeing Manchester United moving very quick in there. So you're right, Curtis, man. It has been slow, and that's a point that I wanted to say to people where they probably know it, but the pace of this market is determined by our rivals and how well they're moving. So when we say, and you quite rightly, Curtis, say we've been slow in the market. Yeah, we have been slow. Look at Chelsea. They're signing players. Why are we not? The Zubamendi they've been peddling the same Zubamendi done deal for the last 15 bloody months. Do you know what I mean? Maybe not as long as that, but I mean at least
he had a medical last week, didn't he? Apparently.
Yeah. And then you see some reports coming out saying, "Oh, he hasn't had it quite yet." Yeah. I'll tell you what happens is when say Gyökeres signs for Manchester United or one of our big targets go, that's when they'll put out the official. Yeah. It's official. He's having his medical. That's when they'll do that. You know what I mean? To just soften the blow and all of that.
But Arsenal's always been like this, Aaron. Sorry to cut in, mate. I can go back years and years and years. Arsenal have always been slow to move. I remember, I mean, Shane will know, and Normski will know, and yourself will know. I can go back years and years and years, and we've always been chasing players, and it's not happened, and they've ended up elsewhere, and why didn't we go for this one? And we was linked with this one right up until the start of the season, and then it all falls through, and it's just a mess. It's just and this is getting back to your point, and I can fully understand your point about Berta. This is what I was hoping that Berta would do, would come in and put a stop to all this dragging all the process out. Lastminute.com. Do you know what I mean? I was hoping that he would come in and go, right, bang, 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 this is what we're doing. These are the players that we're getting. You coach the team, I'll give you the team.
Yeah. But the problem is like and that is what's annoying me. To the eye, it seems like he's gone, well, they've got their target. So what we'll do is we'll carry on as now, and then when he gets sacked, we'll start implementing. And Gianni's sort of saying as well, if Juve doesn't hire him, Arteta isn't leading in the league by the transfer. When you've said something like this, haven't you, DJB? You've said to him that give him about till Christmas, didn't you?
Yeah, I said Christmas will be a very, very key point, depending on where we are in the Premiership. I think Christmas will be very key. Yeah.
Yeah. And go get Roberto
Mancini. Could be wrong.
No, I'll get managers like that now. Honestly, I wouldn't mess around. Do you know what? Even if like, and this might not be right to say, but I'd still rather this in the country. I'd even rather just sack Arteta now. And if the manager that they truly don't want ain't available right yet, just give someone a 12-month deal. I mean, look at who. Do you remember when was it Goose Hiddink went to Chelsea and give him an FA Cup?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Just a temporary little thing, and even managed to win the FA Cup in 6 months. Why can't we just go? All right, yeah, I can understand that you would want to probably manager him with a 2 or 3 year vision or whatever, but I mean, we've give Arteta a 5.5 year vision, and it's just boring, isn't it? I mean, I would take a Mancini now for a year if they don't want him. But sorry,
they've got a different model. So their model is sacking trophies. You sack one manager, you get a trophy. Look at Roberto Mancini. I mean, not Roberto, Matteo. I mean, the man's got a Champions League. I mean, come on. That's their model.
Kenny Ken has said it. 5, 6 years for any manager now in football these days is long enough.
Yeah,
it's long enough. It's just turning stale, and the fact that he hasn't won a trophy and he's got no credit in the bank shouldn't really warrant him staying at this club any longer.
Yeah, that's it. There's no credit left, is there? Do you know what I mean? Like, it just isn't. I could get the year he won the FA Cup and then he finished 8th. Yeah, I could at least somewhat understand why they gave him another season, because they probably thought, we're still going around this.
Yeah.
He's on his first 18 months and he'd had the FA Cup, and I could sort of buy into at least somewhat that, he's won something. He's trying to implement his new ideas. He has got a squad he needs to go through, but not the second one. No. It was 2.5 years and then finishing, at 5th and bottling to that Conte. That then for me is like, okay, you can't get over the line. Let's get a new manager. Like that's them. I didn't want him in the first place. I weren't particularly happy. That as well. They went out to Olympiacos. It's funny, this ain't it, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. It's funny how Tottenham, they win the Europa League and sack their manager, but we keep a manager that lost to Olympiacos, Sporting Lisbon, and Villarreal, managed by the former manager, and still keeps a job. Yeah. That's funny, isn't it?
Different standards, man. Different standards.
That's madness. That is madness. Oh, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, that's batshit when you start looking at but what's this? James just said, take Potter now. Yeah.
West Ham are going through it. Yeah, they're going through it.
Do you know what, James? Thank you very much. You're a very, very, very generous guy. So I appreciate the offer, but you can keep him, Jay. I definitely don't want him, man. I don't want Arteta. I definitely don't want Potter. I actually remember saying to you when you signed him, I thought it might be a good little signing as a manager.
I thought it would be as well.
Yeah, I thought it might.
His level.
Yeah, but it just has been anything but. It really has been anything but.
Turn that around. Turn that around, Aaron. Would he take Arteta?
Not a hope.
Yeah, that's the point. Yeah,
I'm interested to find out how many West Ham fans would take Arteta.
I might ask.
I can't imagine it.
I'll tell you what. While we're doing this, I'm going to text my old man and see what he says.
Right.
I know what he's going to say.
Because
I think I know what he's going to say.
My son's friends and avid West Ham. Big up, Charlie. And I asked him the same question, and he said 2-3 years ago, I'd have probably said yeah. He said, but not now. No.
Yeah, he's been found out. He's been found out. Real football fans have seen through him. Real football fans have seen through him. I mean, I'm getting messages off my mates who support Liverpool and Villa and stuff like that. And I'm saying, we're in a group and I'm saying, sack this fucking prick. Like when we're after losing or drawing again, and I want him fucking gone, I want him gone, I want him gone. They're all laughing, going, oh, I hope he stays. You know, when the opposition fans want him to stay because he has you in a bad way, you know things have really gone. You know what I mean? Oh, I hope he stays. He's your shit. Use your shit with him there. You're not a threat to us.
And I mean, they don't just want him to stay. I mean, they really want him to stay. Like I said, when I flick around some of the opposing fans' channels that I like, some of their content creators and all of that, and then I put my sort of things into the chat, and then I know a few people in their chat. They're all set on to me straight away, going, nah, 6-year deal for Arteta. We don't want him to stay. Do you know what I mean? That's how you know the collective rival fans. They all want the geezer. If someone's any good, you don't want your rival to have him, do you? This is
exactly
that. Yeah, James. Yeah. I would take Arteta. Would I take Arteta? No, sorry. He has a dog called Win, and he would get the piss ripped from him by West Ham fans for that. That's what I'm saying. You wouldn't have it, would you?
No, they won't put up with it. The thing is with West Ham fans is, I mean, I've lived amongst them pretty much most of my life, and they'll be on the back of Potter straight from day one.
Yeah, they've already turned it on.
They won't tolerate it, but they will be united on Potter.
Yeah, that's the thing.
You might have the odd West Ham fan go, well, hang on a minute, give him a bit of time, but very, very quickly.
I had someone in my chat now say give him one more year, but like they were very sort of begrudgingly. Look, I'll give him a year.
One more year,
give him his signings and see. But you could see that it was through gritted teeth. Like, you know what I mean?
I mean, a lot of West Ham fans are really concerned about their football club because friends, they're saying that they can't see any signings coming in. They can see players leaving. They could be in trouble next season. I hate to say it, but they could be. If Leeds get their act together and Sunderland, massive clubs, they could be in trouble next season.
Yeah,
I hope not. I hope not. But
I've been watching a lot of James's stuff, so make sure people go over and give him a follow as well. And he ain't wanted Potter for a long time, and they haven't had him for a long time.
Yeah.
But James has got standards for the Liverpool club, and the thing is, and James will tell you this himself. West Ham fans are patient fans of certain bits. Yeah. Let's get him on. Let me send him the.
The thing is with West Ham, with West Ham's that look, no disrespect to West Ham's, but their expectations are not the same as Arsenal's year in year out, Man City's, and all of that. You know, their expectations are probably top 8, top 7, good cup run, FA Cup, Carabao Cup.
Yeah,
you know, the fact that they won the Conference Cup is brilliant. So you know what I mean. But even they've got standards for their club, like all fans have.
Higher standards than us.
And at the end of the day, they're in a similar boat. Really, they're in a similar boat to us. You know, they've got players there that have not performing, that have underperformed, and they've got a manager that's not really cutting it. Very similar situation.
Yeah, it's a frustrating man. Let me see. I've just sent James the link.
I mean, a good channel as well is that Claret and Blues, isn't it? That's a what's his name? Big up as well. So he speaks a lot of facts about West Ham.
There's a couple of good ones out there. Obviously Tony as well. Do you know what I mean? We have a bit of tone.
Yeah.
And Budgie, I
was listening a little bit of Dan yesterday, and he had LB jump on, and LB said, "It's not rocket science to win the league. You sign the best players in the world, and you naturally win the league." Well, Conte didn't.
No.
Conte didn't. Conte had men like McTominay, Billing, people like that, Lukaku. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And won a league. Leicester didn't have world-class players, won the Premiership. It's all right having world-class players, but you've still got to have the right man.
Yeah,
Madrid didn't win the league this season. And they signed Mbappe and all these lads.
Madrid didn't win the league this season.
The Galactico period, that 6-year Galactico period in the 2000s.
Big up LB. I mean, every time, but that's not all. I have to disagree with him there, because you have to. It's not just about having world-class players. You've still got to have the manager behind them with the nous to get them over the line.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. There he is.
How we doing, gentlemen? Everyone all right?
Well, yeah,
good, mate.
I see all yous
it goes on.
About Cisco.
Oh, mate.
No.
I know, mate. I know. I was just listening to what you were saying about, like, obviously, people walking away and all that. It's today, funny enough, it's come out today. A hell of a lot of people are walking away. Season ticket holders walking away from West Ham. So what you just said earlier, and what you said, DJB, about next season's a worry. It's starting to look like a worry when you've got a lot of hardcore fans walking away. I've never seen it. Well, I've never really seen it with West Ham. I've seen people go in bunches, but not as a collective. And this is it ain't looking good, mate. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, but that's what Arsenal fans need to do.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. This is the only way you're going to get this manager out.
Do you know what it is, right? What you're saying is spot on, right? Because this has been coming for the last 10 years with West Ham, and I think what yous are saying, I can see what yous are saying. I always say it on here, is that people are starting to look at it from the other side now, and that people are starting to call out. Well, next season, with just for Arteta, for example, he's got to perform, otherwise he's gone. And the people, and I've always said this on here, some people don't like to admit when they're wrong. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's more about themselves rather than them looking at it and going, maybe I've got this a bit wrong, and he has to perform now, or like for us to succeed, i.e. Arsenal sort of thing. So, it's just. I think football's just changed, mate. I think people would rather be a part of the conversation than be a part of winning something. You know what I mean?
Facts. Absolute
We've got cult settings over here, mate. Yeah, because they just feel like they are part of something. Do you know what I mean? It's this Arteta thing, and there's such a way with them. They can go on YouTube, and as long as they open, if they're brand new to a whole chat, and it's on the right channel, of course, they can just open with something just as simple as, Arteta's been great for us. Look at where he started. Look at what the team he picked up. Look at where he's taken us, and instantaneously you're in the group. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. That's all you need, and all of a sudden you've just found yourself 1.2 million fan friends.
Can I ask you, saying all of you boys, because obviously Arsenal had a lot of problems with the Cronkies for a long time. Because people are very mixed on them. Some people sort of back it and say they do spend money. Other people say, well, they don't spend enough, and they spend at the wrong times. They should have spent in the January window. What do you make of the Cronkies? Because in West Ham's situation, we look at it owner first, then it filters down to the manager. How do Arsenal fans see it?
Well, the actual Arteta the people that worship this manager will always blame the Cronkies. Oh, they didn't back him in January. Oh, they haven't done this. Oh, they haven't done that. But if you look at it realistically, this is a manager that's had an unsackable contract, £750 million, the sole running of Arsenal Football Club, the whole say on what players he signs, to a degree, because him and Edu worked between them. They were like best of pals. So they had this whole running of the football club, who to put out on loan, who to bring in. So in that retrospect, the Cronkies have given him practically the whole shebang. They've said to him, we know F all about football, basically. You take care of things. And there's 750 million to do what you like with.
Yep.
He's mismanaged the money. Most of the players he signed are not been good enough, apart from Declan Rice, Timber, Raya the goalkeeper. I'm sort of scratching my head there, really.
Yeah.
That's
about it.
Other than that, he has signed centre halves and played them at left backs. He signed midfield players and played them as forwards. He hasn't signed an out-and-out forward since Aubameyang, really. And yeah, I mean, I think the Cronkies have given him more than enough in his tenure.
Yeah, I have them as the third.
My problem with the Cronkies now is that now it's all going tits up and he ain't winning anything. I'm now starting to look at the Cronkies to grow a pair and say,
get rid.
You've had everything, you've had all your presents, you've opened them all up. Now it's time to go. That's why I have them.
I have them as the third biggest problem. The manager's the biggest problem by a country mile.
Yeah,
the Cronkies are the third biggest problem. The second biggest problem is the majority of the fan base that keep them in a job. Because if they were on our side, the Cronkies would act. They would act. So they're just going by like that thing that Normski sent me. That only 3% apparently are extremely disappointed.
But doesn't that turn though, Rich? Though doesn't that turn?
It's not turning though. It's not turning though. That's the problem. There's nothing this man can do because they've gone over to the dark side. They've gone over to the dark side now, where they are going to the mat for this manager. People like Gal, all these lads have used terminology like, I will follow him till the wheels come off. It's all about the manager now. It's all about the manager. It's about backing.
And they use the word love.
It's about having a voice. It's about being right. They want to be right. And even when it's like a cult. We always refer to a cult because when people are in a cult, even when it gets to the Kool-Aid stage and they're starting to think maybe this guy isn't the Messiah. Yeah. Maybe I was wrong about him. They've invested so much in it that they can't turn back. That they go, no, I can't
lose face.
Because if I admit I'm wrong, then the world doesn't make sense to me anymore. Because
they actually use things like they actually say we love this guy. We love the football he plays.
Yeah. I'm a believer. I've seen that. I'm a believer. Like he's a.
Do you know what I mean?
You see, it's blind faith. It becomes blind faith.
It's crazy.
Blind faith is different to supporting your.
And the thing is,
or do whatever you say.
Yeah, but the thing is I've got a season ticket. I just renewed the other day, and the reason why I go is because I like to think, as a fan that's been going for 50 years, he's not bigger than me. Arteta's not bigger than me, and what I mean by that is, he will walk away and won't give a shit about the football club. He'll go and earn 15, 20 million elsewhere, right? And he won't give a shit about the football club. But the likes of me and who goes will still be behind them. Now, I'd love to be able to sort of say, right, I ain't going until this manager's gone. I'm not going anymore, right? But what will happen? Your season ticket will get revoked. And there is thousands and thousands of people on the waiting list to take my place. And the tourist, the Japanese, China, right, that go to Arsenal Football Club, it is just, Aaron, what's it like on match days, mate? It is just incredible.
Yeah, but the one thing I'm going to say is, when does it become a possibility that the owners have to take it out of Arteta's hands?
I think what Shane hit the nail on the head earlier on in stream. I think when your top players start wanting to show the door, if Saka suddenly turns around and goes, "I'm not Harry Kane, I'm going Saliba," and you start losing your top players.
Saliba already has some close. If he hasn't already in private, he definitely has.
When players down tools, and I'll tell you one thing. If Declan Rice don't win anything next season,
he'll start looking as well. Yeah.
Right, he's going to be, because he is a top player. He's just been announced in the UEFA team, and rightly so. He started the season badly, but he's a top player.
He was at Jared Bowen's weddings, but it was all right.
Yeah, what I'm trying to say is, and it's true what Shane said. When your top players and your top assets start thinking, "Nah, this ain't for me," that's when the fans will start thinking, "Well, hang on a minute."
But also when these players see all their mates dropping like flies with grade 3 hamstrings and being played on injuries, he's openly admitted about 3 of them. We've covered them before, of course. He played Ben White on a knee injury, played Timber all season with an injury, and he played Declan Rice with a broken toe, and apparently Odegaard was getting painkiller injections. It's like that American football movie. I think it's called Varsity Blues or something like that, where the coach is just injecting them, and in the end the players all stand up and go, "You're seeing your mate's careers being ruined. Like you're seeing your mate's careers being ruined." They're going to stand up at some stage and go, "Listen, you need to look and stop this." You know what I mean? Like these lads have to think about their careers, and if they're getting injections or they're being played on knee injuries, you're going to go, well, I'm not doing this next, man. It's going to take one of them to go, no, I'm not playing because I'm injured. And then it goes public, and then it snowballs. So it's going to take something like that. I think once it does, it'll happen fast.
But do you think any of you boys that the Cronkies will act, though? Because when you look at it, they've got them in there. Like, I've always said this. I've even said it to Aaron. Aaron's like been on E20 before, and do you know what I'm saying? And I've always said this, that Arteta takes you to a level, he can't take you beyond that level. And that's it. Like, he's reached his level where he's at, the stabilisation of top 4, top 6, let's just say top 6 for the argument of the conversation. Now, can he win something? Yeah, that's a different scenario altogether. And the thing is, when you look at it this year, Newcastle, Palace have both won stuff. And like, it's just, for me, like, have the Cronkies got the perfect guy in there to say, you know what, we've got a bit of a yes man in there who's going to do as he's told. We've given him a platform, and like, we will sack him when we want to sack him, sort of thing, rather than being forced.
The thing is, right, Shane, I'll go back to what Shane said. It's the fans that's keeping this manager in a job. Yeah, it's the fans. And as long as the Cronkies, because at the end of the day, the Cronkies is about money, making money. The merch, the PR, all of that, that is no problem to them. As long as they're getting the money in, and, you know, Arteta can sell you the dream, sell the fans the dream. We know, because listen, you know, I've visited the Matrix enough times to know what's going on here. You know, it's
where's the background, Norms?
You know, I need to change it in a minute. But it's all about
get your maths right, mate. Come on,
maths now. It's all about the maths. But no, it's crazy, because when I hear some of the absurd stuff that comes out of these fans' mouth, I'm like, they are really tapped, literally. Until they change their mindset and their thinking, this manager will always be in a job. Okay, so the owners, they backed him. I mean, when the owners first came in, we was turning around and saying, like, we was saying, put your hand in your pocket. Remember, we were saying all of that. Get your hand, put your hand in your pocket.
Yeah.
You know, then there was a little switch, and then they started backing in. You know what I mean? Then you start seeing lights of buying Declan Rice for 105 million. You think, oh, these guys are serious. For 50 million for Jesus, this one. You think, oh, they're starting to spend now. Yeah, but the problem is the manager. He's not at the level to get this team over the line. But it's that hope. For me, it's the hope that kills every time, every year. And it's been something that goes back with Arsenal for a long time, as DJB said. You know, it's the hope that kills us. Because when we're meant to get the player, look how long it's taken us first to even replace Patrick Vieira. Do you know what I mean? It just keeps going on and on and on and on. You have the situation, he comes in, I'm going to change the culture of the club.
Look how long the Declan Rice transfer was drawn out. He was linked with us. He was linked with us the moment we played him at the London Stadium. Yeah. Rice knew he was going.
Half of that is going. We stole half of that money.
I mean, Sullivan was on the Talk Sport selling him the next day after Prague.
Yeah, right. And at the end of the day, look how long that, and all the while I'm thinking, this ain't going to happen. This ain't going to happen. This deal ain't going to. This is going to happen.
It was it was. Yeah, Sullivan played the game there. Like, he knew exactly what he was doing, and that's why fucking a lot of fans got hatred towards Sullivan, because like West Ham and Prague, that was our best moment for 43 years. Like, do you know what I'm saying? We haven't won a trophy since then. Yeah. So, you know, when you go and win a trophy, you should make it all about the club. Instead, he's on Talk Sport talking to Simon Jordan and Jim White about selling Declan Rice and basically advertising him to the highest bidder. Like, he knew what he was doing. Don't get me wrong. Was he right to do that? No. I think there's a time and a place to go and do that. And I understand that he was trying to get the best for West Ham and the best price for Deck, because obviously Deck's a good player. But, you know, at the end of the day, like, that's the sort of ownership that you got to deal with. Like, do you know what I'm saying? And I don't know. I just look at it that I think the Cronkies, for me, from an outsider looking in, I think the only time they act is what you boys have just said about the players leaving. I think if Arteta flops, now when I say flop, I mean he drops like to 4th or something, or 5th, then I think they might look at it and go, maybe this is not the right move. But maybe you can get a couple of players in next year. And next year's going to be hard. It's going to be hard next year.
No, it's going to be tough.
We ain't getting top 5 next year. I've said it from the start. We're not getting top 5 next year. There's no way we're getting top 5 next year.
Where do you reckon?
City are going to be stronger. I think 5th at the most. It'll be 5th. at the most. If we got a new manager, it might be different. But Liverpool are already taken off. Newcastle will strengthen. City will strengthen. They're going to change everything up next season. They're going to have overlapping fullbacks. They're going to have the
Chelsea
310s behind the striker.
Chelsea.
Chelsea will strengthen.
Aston
And then there's
Villa.
always one team like a Forest
Aston
that comes
Villa,
out of
right.
nowhere as well. And Villa will strengthen. I can see us really dropping down the table. Because
Especially
people aren't taking into account the fact that a load of our players that were injured this season, number one, who at least half of them will struggle with injury through the season. Aaron's mentioned it before. When you get a big injury like that, other muscles start going because you're putting more pressure on the other leg, or you start to get niggly injuries all the time. Timber needs another operation. There's talk of Odegaard needing an operation. There's so many of these. Jesus isn't back till after Christmas. You know what I mean? It's pandemonium at the club, but because the PR of the pundits out there saying everything's fine, these fans seem to think that if you sign the striker, then suddenly the squad that doesn't matter, the wages doesn't matter, the injuries don't matter. This is the thinking. It's like a child. It's like a child thinking.
Yeah.
And sadly, about 80 to 90% of our fan base, we are the worst fan base, I'd say, on the planet, man. I think as a majority, we have such a large chunk of these new age goons that know absolutely nothing about football. They like the merch. They like the way Calafiori looks, and they're happy enough with the 2 Rice free kicks, and they'll live off that. I saw someone make a comment today. There was a thing that came. Sorry, no, I'll land on this. There was a thing that came up that said, "Rate Rice's season." You know what I mean? And I put it between. I think it was between 6 and 8. I would have gone lower, but maybe to between 5 and 6 if I could, just because the first start of the season was so bad. And the top comment was, "Those two free kicks alone should mean that he gets a 10 out of 10 this season." You know what I mean? That's what you're dealing with. Like, that's what you're dealing with. It was what it's been like the whole season, and everyone's like, "Yeah," the whole way down.
Do you think though?
Man.
I just quickly say this, right? Do you think it's a generational thing? Because I'm noticing in the West Ham community also.
A lot to do with it. Yeah.
I think when you've lived through, and I use Arsenal as an example. Yeah, because I remember '98 when you won the FA Cup, and I think you won the Prem in that league. They done the double, didn't you? In '98.
Double,
yeah, and then you had like people like Anelka and Will Tord and Henry and all these players, and the element of quality over that sort of 6-7 year period with Wenger. Sometimes I look at people and I think they don't understand the past. They don't remember the past, and they see they want to be a part of something. They want to be a part of something. I'll just quickly learn this. They want to be a part of something. They'd rather be in the conversation rather than being a winner. That makes sense.
Yeah.
You see, like even when I started following Arsenal as a kid, I have flashes of the '89, right? Because I was 8, 9, and the reason that I have a decent memory of that is because there was only about 2 televised games a year in Ireland at the time, and that was one of them, right? So I remember sitting down and getting through. So I have flashes of that. The '91 season I remember more, right? But by '93, when we were finishing 10th, we won both the cups, fair enough, but we were finishing 10th. At that stage, the only way that I could learn about it was through begging my mum, buy me that videotape with the George Graham's all-time 11, buy me that one of the '89 season, books, read up on it. But now with the instant information, if they want to check on a player, you go, "Oh yeah, do you remember the 2 Liverpool fans? Do you remember Emlyn Hughes?" They'll go into the toilet, look it up, and go, "Yeah," and they'll read out a couple of stats. It doesn't stick with them because they're just getting instant information. Back when you had to really study it and immerse yourself in the club, like you said,
they never had C-facts like us lads, did they?
Yeah,
well, that's what I mean. Like teletext, man. We had teletext where you check the score.
I didn't even have that years ago, mate.
But they don't immerse themselves in it because it's
I can see it now.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, mate. When we used to have like the old teletext, you have to wait for the scores. It flickers. You knew there'd been a goal. It's for the other fucking team. So,
we didn't even have that.
Match of the day, you'd have to wait. You'd sit waiting for match of the day to come on, and you'd be going, right, Arsenal won 3-1 today. I heard Ian Wright's goal was a cracker. One that really stood out for me was when we beat Everton 2-0, and I was listening to that on the radio, and your man was like, "Oh, Ian Wright, one of the best goals I've ever seen." I was all day waiting. About 10 hours waiting for match of the day to see this goal. When he put it over Southall, remember he soloed it over and then lost Southall. So I was about 10 hours waiting for that because on the radio your man lost the plot going, one of the best goals. And I used to have this little box radio, and then it would go out and you'd be holding it this way and that way and all, trying to make sure that it stayed still here.
You would have on medium wave. You better definitely be listening on medium wave.
It was medium wave as well, man. And that was a zesty little fucking wave. That was. was, man. That was temperamental, you know what I mean? Holding it this way and that way. And, man.
Further than
But
that.
it meant more then, you see. It definitely meant more then. It got embedded in you. Because you had to go to an effort. You had to go to an effort to follow your team. You know what I mean? It meant more. I don't know. The new generation, they just get their little hits, their TikTok hits with little 10-second clips of Odegaard doing a pirouette and stuff like that. They don't watch them.
It's absolute nonsense that's spewed out.
That's what I was saying about the that post I had up by Eduardo Hagen, because it's just going to be goals secured. That's it. They're all goals secured because we signed Sesko's. People like that, like the new generation of fans, will look at that and they'll just, well, Eduardo Hagen said it, so that's that. They'll take it on fact and then go spread the word.
Aaron,
you just have to listen to someone you respected. Yeah.
But Aaron, guys, there's fans out there thinking that if we sign, let's say we get Gyökeres, they think that's the answer to everything. What they failed to understand is no matter who we get, we are still under this management.
Yeah.
Can I just jump in?
We get Prime Messi under this guy. We ain't winning nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. You've segued me very nicely there to Madupe's super chat. Big up my girl. All the way from New York City. Come on.
Big up Madupe.
Enough respect to you, my girl.
The queen.
Yeah, that's it. The Queen of NYC. She's back in the building.
You're from transatlantic now, son. You cracked it.
Yeah. But she said to me when she first started having a little chat that her boyfriend don't like football in the States. So you know what I mean? That's it. She's found a place where she can just, unfortunately,
let off steam.
All the rest of us.
If you don't like,
she just needs to walk around with her Arsenal bit of merch on, and she's cracked it.
Yeah. We sorted it out with some merch. We dressed her up and made you know what I mean. We made her day with some wonderful.
We sorted her out. Yeah, we sorted her out.
We did. But unfortunately, Madupe's she's joined the right place. However, it's just all doom and gloom, unfortunately, ain't it? And I really don't like that. And quite rightly, just saying, and she's saying, I don't know if a team in the league that's not us gets Gyökeres. I don't know if I'll ever recover from that amount of heartbreak. Yeah, look, listen, that's sort of what I said earlier as well. Especially if Man United, if was to sign up there, because I just think, wow. Not only have they been, so I know Manchester United, Man United, they always will have the pull. That's as simple as that. The biggest club in England. It's just a fact. They're not the best operated club in England at the minute. I mean, that is also an absolute major fact. But we allow the team, that's not even in Europe in 15th place to get someone like that. It's painful. It's less painful than if a Liverpool were to get it. Because as you go, well, yeah, fair enough. I can at least appreciate that he's going to go to the champions who are signing top players. But I do understand, you know what I mean? If it would still hurt. And Madupe, my girl, you've found the right place. We'll just go through it all together. Do you know what I mean? If that happens, you know what channel to jump onto. Do you know what I mean? We'll all line it all out, my girl. But always a pleasure. Do you know what I mean? Just because the boyfriend don't like football, don't mean to say you can't talk it with us. So that's it. You're always welcome, my girl. Anytime.
That's ironic. That you don't really hear that, do you? The boyfriend don't like the football.
Yeah. And
Mrs. like, oh.
So she knows what she's talking about.
I'm telling you, that's rare. That's rare. That is
rare. If you're still in the chat, does he like any sports at all, or is he just one of them that? Because usually, like I always find in England, it might be different over there. But if you like cars and bikes and things like that, a lot of people that are into that don't like football. Or maybe it's just a circle that I swing into, but they always like motorbikes and things like that. Is he just not into sports at all, or is he just not into football or soccer? As
never know.
Label it over there. Yeah, but soccer.
You might like basketball or something,
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, but the baseball's obviously American football. That's all the go over there, isn't it? Shane, you need to shoot, didn't you, bro?
Yeah, I'm going to shoot off. Yeah, I promised Lee I'd hop on for a little bit with him, and if this was coming to a close, I said, or if it is, I said I would. But yeah, listen, man, pleasure is always coming on. Pleasure to share the screen with the legends. It is my favourite time of the week coming on with the OGs. But yeah, I've got to be up in like 6 hours, so I'm just going to pop on for half an hour and then try and get some sleep. Try and unwind and get some sleep. before the full Irish tomorrow.
Get your Irish breakfast in.
Get the mushrooms in there, innit? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I heard you
That's what it is. That's the difference.
Yeah,
switch out the baked beans with the mushrooms, man. Switch out the baked beans with the mushrooms.
That's not a good swap for me, bruv, man. Unless they're
no,
magic,
I don't like beans. I don't like beans that they fry up, man. I don't like beans.
Me and Aaron was going through a few recipes. I was giving Aaron some recipes like yesterday, mate. I mean, you're a chef yourself.
I was a chef for 20 years. I
gave him a few things to try out, you know, but we'll have to wait and see if he does it.
But listen, big up to everybody.
Yeah, big up.
Absolute legends. Cheers to everybody in the chat as well. Absolute legends in the chat. Make sure you subscribe to everybody. Make sure you subscribe to everybody. And see you later.
Yeah, big up. Get the subs up.
After the DJB show, I'll give him a little call yesterday, and we spent about half hour on the phone, and it weren't talking about football. I don't know how it. I think I asked you. Was it said? I think you might have said DJ.
No. What happened was
what happened was talking about grub for half hour.
Yeah, no. What happened was we was chatting away, and I said, I'm just gonna. That's it. You just said, what you up to now? I said, I'm just grabbing myself something to eat. And then I told you what I was eating, and that was it. We was going through a few different recipes. Yeah.
I don't know about you, boys, and I've got to bring it up because it's my favourite little snack. Like it just is all like pastime bit of food, and it's beans on toast with melted cheese on the top.
That's why I yesterday, wasn't it?
When you said that, I think that's what started it. Because I was just like, do you know what? I've loved cheese and beans on toast.
Cheesy beans on toast.
Yeah. Oh, come on, man. It's just
stew and dumplings for me, son. Stew and dumplings.
Stew and dumplings. He's a proper hammer, and mates.
Yeah, man. Toad in the hole. He got toad in the hole.
Pie mash and liquor, isn't it? Pie mash and liquor. The old West Ham special.
I'll tell you what, mate. I went to a birthday dinner at the weekend. My missus' sister, yeah. And I went to put a shirt on. Fucking too small, mate. My missus went, "Right, you're on a diet now." So I was like, "I've got to watch what I'm eating, mate. I can't eat after fucking 9 o'clock." I might have to become a vegan. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not that bad, is it? No, it ain't not that bad, is it?
No, Aaron, mate, you don't know my missus, mate. She had the raving up, mate. I couldn't even put a shirt on, like. You know what I mean? I was like
ducking and diving from the buttons. Yeah.
I've learned how to duck.
Yeah.
It's quite soul destroying when you do that happens.
Yeah.
So,
mate, I'm the same. No, that's usually I like getting a couple of cans of Stella for these ones. I got out the shower yesterday again, boys. I was like, what's going on here, man? I was like, just seeing this gut growing. I'm like, what the fuck's happening here? And look, my missus took the exact same attempt to go, probably all them fucking beers you're drinking. He just can't help it. I was like, yeah, all right. Well, maybe I probably should stop. Like just drinking the unnecessary ones. Do you know what I mean? Like sometimes that's why I'm having the old coffee in the Star Wars cup tonight. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Dare I bring out a couple of cans? You know what I mean? Like first, what we doing here, eh? Let me get some of these from Curtis. Big up to Curtis. Clock in Curtis, man. He's saying, how do you feel about the Burt assignment? We'll run through it together. How do you feel about Burt v Arsenal in regards to recruitment structure? How much percentage-wise do you attribute our issues being the Kroenkes and Arteta? I'll tell you what. I'll start with the latter and then work our way up. Right? Percentage-wise, I don't know. You know, it depends what sort of you want to come from, because Arteta is massively causing a very high percentage of the problems at this football club, but the Kroenkes are allowing him to do it. I don't know how sort of early or how long you've been here in this conversation, but I said sort of pretty much early on, 5 years, like it's not good enough. And listen to this clip. I'll play it for you again, Curtis, because it's the Kroenkes, and he said this in July 2000. No, it wasn't July. He said this in 2019. Okay. Have a little listen to this. I've played it before. You may have heard it the first time around, but I'll play it again for those who haven't. This is Josh Kroenke.
Our ambitions are silverware and trophies. I think that anything short of that is not a success.
There you go. Ambition, silverware and trophies, and anything short of that isn't success. So why has he allowed Arteta to stay in this job for that long then? If you know that it's all about trophies, which it is, and anything else success, have you allowed Arteta to keep going? And that's the worrying thing, my friend. Like, how do I feel about the Berta assignment? Yeah, I mean, like, I was quite happy that we've signed him, but I'm not happy with what he's doing or what he isn't sort of doing from the angle of, you know, he's letting Arteta have all his signings already. I'm not happy with that. Why is Zubamendi signing for this football club? You know, why is Sesko signing for this football club? Oh, and people say, oh, because, you know, they've been done for a long time with the long-term Arteta targets. I don't care what Arteta's long-term targets are. If they're not Berta's long-term targets or short-term targets, then I don't want them at this football club. And I don't trust Mikel Arteta's, I don't trust his talent ID. I'll tell you why I don't trust his talent ID, because he's got about 5 signings right at about out the 27 permanent ones that he's made. And he's made 33 signings all in total, 31 of which are all different players, and only still 4 or 5 of them are any good. So it's sort of mad, Curtis, bruv. How do I feel about, Berta and Arteta and recruitment structure? Yeah, that's it. I think I've hit the nail on the head with that one, mate. I don't think the recruitment's been anywhere near good enough. Anywhere near good enough. And if the point that I'm trying to make is if Zubamendi and Sesko come through the door, what's the point in Berta? What is the point in Berta if Arteta's going to have all of his signings this year? What's the point in him? Might as well come next year. If he's just going to allow Mikel Arteta to have his way, well, he's worked on the signings for a bit long. What's the fucking point? What is the point? Listen, I don't know how you feel or was anyone on the panel before I sort of move it, but it's frustrating, isn't it? Yeah, I think we've sort of covered that bit.
Yeah,
it's a frustrating one, and of course, Kurt's come in to big up our brother James on E20, and his links have been pinned. Sorry, I put them in the chat, and they are here again. Right, go and subscribe to E20 Zone for James, man. Let me just scroll through some of this chat, because I'm going to come to a close in very, very, very shortly, because I've not got my Stellas to keep me awake. You know what I mean? I'm slowly coming to a close. Big up to Static in the building, man. Fortunately, I must go. Big up to you, brother. Cheers for stopping in, man. Absolute geezer. Yeah, we got page 303. That's what it was. Yeah. The CFAX, wasn't it? Yeah. And if you wanted the score, you'd have to wait for it to change the screen, wouldn't it? If there was a few different pages and all that. Yeah.
What was that game on there back in CFAX? I can't remember what it was called.
Tennis, wasn't it?
Bonanza. No, not Bonanza. It's gonna do me there. It used to be like a little quiz. You could do like a sports quiz on the CFAX and all. I
don't remember that.
Yeah, like fucking hell. Thank God we got smartphones now.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Now, that was brilliant when you mentioned that. All them little bits, you know.
I used to get some good holidays off of CFAX, man. I remember sitting on CFAX.
My nan used to do that.
Yeah. Sitting on CFAX, and I remember getting holidays. Fuerteventura for like 9
months.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the game. Yeah. I used to get a game on CFAX. I knew it was fucking
cheap holidays on the old teletext. The old teletext holidays. Really cheap holidays. Sort of literally book it, pack it, F off. So we used to look at it on a Sunday. Like it was booked by the Tuesday and gone.
Teletext discontinued in what year, lads? See if you can guess the year it discontinued.
I'm going to say 2001.
Oh, I'm going to go a bit later. I'm going to go 2006.
I'm going to go 2002.
2009.
No.
Yeah, look, right here, lads. The proof's in the pudding, son. Look.
Oh, wow.
This 14th December. Yeah, that's
long live teletext.
Good stat.
Yeah, that was brilliant, man. Yeah, that's brilliant. You got to appreciate it, innit? Do you know what I mean? That's what we all sort of watched. Do you know what I mean? That's buzzing, man. It is
but Aaron, it's only buzzing, mate, when it started flickering and you thought you scored, it goes in the team. I remember having an old Goodman's TV, like old battered thing, right, in my mum's room, and I was like, you know what, because we couldn't afford to have a TV in fucking my room, so you know what, I'm watching it and I'm waiting for the scores to come in, and it's just flicker, like just go straight.
Yeah, when it go off, and you'd have to wait for it all wrap round.
Go back further, mate, when we just have to, that was it. We had BBC One, and the scores used to come on, didn't they, at 4:45. All the teams used to kick off at 3:00. All the teams kicked off at 3:00. None of this 4:00, 5:00, Sunday, Monday, Saturday afternoon, 3:00. all the teams, every single division kicked off.
Yeah, World of Sport. Listen to the old when they
World of Sport, Dickie Davis, and then you'd get then you get final score, and the big match, wasn't it?
That's it.
And then on Sundays you get the Italian one. Do you remember the Italian?
Well, that came. Oh, mate, I used to watch that Italian football.
2 o'clock on Sunday. It was brilliant.
Oh, lads! Yeah. What was the Italian league had then?
Who was the host on that? I can't remember his fucking name. Yeah.
I used to watch it every week. We had, I mean, some of the players that played in that league: Van Basten, Kluivert.
Yeah.
I mean, they had the problem.
Oh, Pirlo. The ballers they had in that league then.
That's what they were doing.
That's when Italian football was massive.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, it's what it is. Was it? Oh, someone said James Richardson, was it?
James Richardson, yeah.
Yeah.
Just googling it now, yeah.
Listen, I will wrap up. I'm a little bit tired, but thank you very much for every single person. Football Italia, yeah, there it is.
Football Italia, it was brilliant, mate.
I used to watch some of that on my TV. It must have been probably no bigger than this laptop screen. And the old school aerials that you'd buy, and we only. It was about that big.
I'll tell you what, mate. The kids don't realise how fucking lucky they are now.
I know, mate. Yeah. I remember watching all of that, and the reception I used to get in there was horrendous. It had always just cut through with like.
I bet you don't remember CB radios, do you? Back in the day.
I remember the wind-up ones.
But I do remember. Yeah. My
do you remember the CB radios? Used to go out. Used to have the old aerial on a magnet. Used to stick it out your window on the side slide. Come in and crack your hand.
Do you know what? I see something the other day of when people used to bring in radios. Do you like final day of the season, right? And like now, it's got on your fucking phone, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's just ridiculous.
Everything's on your phone.
Yeah, like back in the day, mate, used to have to
don't even
listen
buy
to
cameras
the
anymore.
Nah.
Used to go and buy cameras. Used to go and buy like cameras and like Olympus trip cameras and all that. Take them on holiday. Oh, you got the camera? Yeah, got a pack camera. Get the camera in. Don't need them now. Got phones with all that.
It's your life on there, isn't it? The phone this is your life on there.
When you think about it, it's dangerous, really, isn't it? What you got on your phone. You've got everything on your phone, isn't it?
Whole life near enough, isn't it? Where's your life, isn't it? Really, your phone.
And your phones now can even open up cars now, can't they?
Yep.
Yeah.
Anything, mate. I must admit, I got a new phone the other day. Like my missus got a new phone, and obviously she always transfers her one to me. And I'll tell you what, going through everything, obviously when you do YouTube, you start speaking to people, like you get a text and you go, come on, and I haven't saved their number. I'm going through all my phone. I'm going, all these people. I think I know him. Who's he? Right? Nightmare, mate.
Do you know that Claret and Booze? That's a good little channel, isn't it? He's got there. Do you ever go on his?
Yeah. Me and Nick have had some classic rows, mate, before in the past, but I must admit we've broken bread this year, so it's all good. It's all good. He didn't agree with my philosophy on Moyes. Like he was very Moyes out. I was very much. You got to show the geezer a bit of respect because of what he's done. But I could sort of understand what he was saying. But my issue was with Nick was that he was only looking at Moyes. He wasn't looking at Sullivan. And with me, I've always looked at Sullivan because I've always said that you can go and get fucking Pep Guardiola in at West Ham. If Sullivan's running the show, mate, nothing's going to fucking change.
I've always said that's the biggest problem with West Ham is the ball, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's the thing. But he's all right, Nick. He's all right. He's a character. He's got a good personality. I done a 24-hour stream with him the other week. I done it in the evening because I do a lot of late night stuff. I thought, fuck it, I'll jump on from 12 till about 3. I was on the fucking whiskies, mate. We're talking about fucking Sullivan and everything, mate. I was like, having a whale of a time. He's all right, Nick. He's all right. Me and him have clashed though. Oh, mate, we've had some Barneys, big Barneys.
Is there a lot of West Ham there is a lot of West Ham channels out there, aren't there?
I'll tell you what it is with us. Yeah, and this is why I do rate a lot of the Arsenal fan channels, right? It's because they all come together in big numbers. Yeah. And they listen, they have a row, but they won't take it unless you're dealing with a girl who's a fucking idiot, right? a lot of them like.
But even
sort of
even with Gal, yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? But what it is that not a lot of the West Ham fans do. I think it's very tribal with us. It's like with me, Aaron knows. Like anyone who sort of follows E20, I open up the platform and anyone can come on.
Yeah.
Like, and I can have anyone who can come in. And I've had it before. I've had people come in challenging me. I've had all sorts of shit over the years, mate. Like, this is what I said to Aaron the other week. I said, this is just the beginning for you, mate. I've been doing this for 4 years, and like you just got to know how to handle it at the end of the day. But hopefully one day there'll be a lot of coming together with the West Ham side of things. But I think people are now, if I'm being honest. I think this walkout with West Ham, where people are walking away, it's very hard to take for me because I've done it 9 years ago, and I'm seeing people doing it now, and it's quite sad, really. But it's for the greater good. Yeah. I think our problem will always be.
I mean, he does the West Ham fan TV, doesn't he?
Yeah, Nicky's all right, mate.
He's been doing it for a few years, hasn't he?
He's one geezer that I can sort of respect a hell of a lot. Like, I look at him and I don't feel with Nicky he does it for the dough. And there's people that do it for the dough. Yeah, and I've sort of gone around the scene. I can see who's doing it for the dough. Like, I have Americans on my channel. Like, one of my main geezers on E20 is an American. And the amount of people that have said to me, I ain't watching your shit with an American on now. I said, well, fuck off then. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like, we've got the Southern Goon, who's an absolute legend, Matty. I mean,
and the thing is with Lucas, right? And this is where it becomes very tribal in football, which I get it with fan bases against fan bases, but not when you're against your own. I don't understand that one. Yeah. And what it is with my boy Lucas, he comes over from America. He spends 3 months here. He's up and down the land. Any West Ham game, he's there. And he pays his money like the next man. And he's traveling from fucking the east coast of America, Maryland. Lives near, like, not far from Washington DC. Wow. Comes over, and listen, I respect that, mate. Like, I live in Dagenham, so I live literally 5 minutes away from the training ground, about 8 mile away from Stratford. So for me, I look at it like this: if he's traveling fucking thousands of miles over and going everywhere, he's going to get my respect. I can't not respect the guy. So but Nicky Hawkins is all right, mate. Hawkins is all right. Gets a bit of stick from people, but I think we get it in all fan bases. I'll get stick, but I mean, you just gotta learn. One thing I have learned is not to take it personally, because people will block you on Twitter. They will literally have a row with you, block you, so you can't answer back. Sometimes you've got to understand some of these people are under 21, like they're probably trapping all that, and then you got some of the older lot who just can't accept what you're saying. Do you know what I'm saying? What can you do? Like, I can't force you to believe me. I'm saying how I feel. I'm telling you what I know. If you don't believe me, I can't help you. You know what I'm saying? Like, simple as that. So, it is a bit crazy out there.
As long as you're a fan for the fans, that's all that matters.
Yeah, defo. How I've sort of always had a mindset in general anyway, so it's very seamless for me to implement it on YouTube, is I could not give a toss where about in the world you are, what you look like, what your beliefs are and all that. Can you talk to me properly about football, whether you agree with me or not? Done. Boom. There you go. Let's talk.
Exactly.
I think
don't care about anything else. But are you an idiot? Like, what one are you? Do you know what I mean? Let's have a football discussion. Don't care anything else.
I've got a clip of me doing a video after a game. It was an afterthought, because every time West Ham play, straight after the game, afterthought. I'm there all the time. And there's a clip of me, and Lucas jumps in, and there's a geezer comes in and goes, I rate your channel, but I can't rate it with an American on it. And I sort of just I stopped everything, and I said, are you taking the piss or what? I said, the geezer comes over here. I sort of broke it down. I just broke it down now. Comes over here, spends all his money, right? He's up and down the land, he's buying fucking stuff. He's a fan. He's up early hours in the morning. Like, you should know, like, if you've got American boys in the Arsenal community, some of these boys, good ones, mate.
We've got loads.
That's what I'm saying.
Loads of American fans.
The thing is, when you're getting up at fucking 6-7 o'clock in the morning, you've just witnessed your team lost. You're gonna be fucking pissed off, ain't you? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and with West Ham, that happens more often than not. So,
big up him, mate. Big up Lucas. Big up Lucas. Yeah, 100%. I mean, we've got Matty, haven't we? The Southern Gooner. He's up all hours, mate. What a legend. Absolute 100% legend. But it's like we're like Aaron. I mean, it doesn't matter. Everyone's welcome. Doesn't matter what you look like, where you're from. I'm not bothered about that. You know what I mean? And I'm all for that. I mean, I speak to people when I go to the Emirates, because there's obviously where I sit, people put their tickets on the exchange. So quite a lot of the time, you don't get to sit next to the season ticket holder because it goes on exchange. And we get, you get all sorts rock up there. You get them all from everywhere. But, we have a chat, we have a laugh, and we talk about the football, and in their own way, in their own language coming across, they're sort of like slagging off managers and players, and it sounds funny because they've got obviously a different accent when they're talking English and that, what I mean?
I'm the other way round, D.
No, it's cool, man. I love it. It's good. It's good.
Yeah, with like the obviously the unfortunate things of what James has had with that some of the people in this chat. I've actually the other way around. Since doing YouTube has made me greater respect the opinions of people all around the world. Not to say I didn't before, but do you know what I mean? YouTube gives you a platform if you want to listen properly to all the other people, around the world that follow Arsenal. Maybe can't go to the games due to location, obviously, as such.
Yeah,
but the knowledge out there, and like Crane says there, or the Crane, he gets up at 2 a.m. or 4 a.m. to listen to some people.
I think people get attached to people, though. Like, I think people get attached to people. Like, some people will listen to Nick from Claret and Booze, who's listen, like, as I say, I've had many fucking barneys with Nick, but I do rate him for his content. I've always said that with Nick, right? For how many times we even have clashed, I've always said that I rate him for how he comes across. I listened to one of his videos earlier on, and I'm just sitting having a cup of tea, nodding, because I'm agreeing with quite a lot of what he's saying. So I can rate people on the content because I know how hard the game is. Like, do you know what I'm saying? If I've been doing it for 4 years in September, and for me, I've always said that I don't go to games for a purpose until Sullivan goes. Now, once Sullivan goes, does that change my mindset about YouTube? Because then I can go to the games and I'm basically free of the prison that I've sort of put myself into a point. So that's up to me. But I can't knock it for the people that I've spoke to over the years, people I bumped into. Like, I want to met Aaron, like, through like doing stuff. And, at the end of the day, I'm a sort of person that if you've got something to say, I'd rather you say it there. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, but it can go to a point of like nastiness. Like, I mean, I've been fucking threatened so many times, been threatened to be stabbed and things like that. And
I've actually had the same and all. Sadly, someone's threatened to cut my head off the other day. He said Lee Rigby me in the street. If he sees me, I'm like, whatever, man. And some
did he say it on your stream?
On the comments.
The comments.
Yeah. And
crazy, Nick. It's just crazy.
Yeah, I've had some stuff, man, about my daughter and all sorts. Yeah, already.
You don't need all that. You don't need all that.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I've
had it about the missus. I had it the other week. There's someone said about, and the thing is with me, I was like, one thing I've got to learn this year more than last season is not to bite it, just laugh at it. And you've got to be hardened, but it can get you down. There's been so many times where I've wanted to walk away, mate. I mean, like, literally go, you know what, is this really worth my time? But then I look at it and I think there's people, like, there's a woman whose name's Joan, right? And I take things sort of out there in the world. My nan was named Joan, who passed away in 99 for breast cancer. And I think, you know what, she loves the channel. If I walk away, she could miss that. And I think, no, like, just carry on for her sort of thing. And there's things like that that stay in my mind. And I think, you know what, I'll just crack on. I'll keep going. And then there'll be some prick who pop up and start saying something. But, you just got to deal with it. That's the only thing. It's hard. But if you're going to put your face out there, this is coming.
I think what you're saying about people being attached to you, because what happens if you stream a certain day or you stream every day, everybody's looking. They're looking for that particular time, 9 o'clock. They know you're going to be coming on at that time. And that's it. And the thing about it, when you say like you decided to go away on holiday or something like that, you kind of feel a little bit guilty, like, I should be doing a stream here, like, sort of thing, or let me just, I mean, it's the same with me. I mean, I ended up, when I went to Jamaica, I was streaming live out there.
Trust me, I remember when I first got with my missus, yeah, because I got with my missus in the February, and I started in the September, and I was doing the streams and all that. And back then, when you first started out, you'd like this, you're doing hours, and like she'd go, "I want to go out for the night," and I'm going, "Oh, well, I can't do that because West Ham are playing. Like I've got to cover the game." Now, what it is, and this is what I said to Aaron, funny enough, the other week, get a schedule. Best thing you ever do. Like, you know, when you're going to do stuff, you plan it out, you plan your week out. And once you do that, it's a piece of piss. It's simple as that. Like, do you know what I mean? You can do it, you can chill. And if you do so much, it can drain you. You know what it's like. Like, if you're covering Arsenal consistently and you're saying about Arteta all the time, eventually it's just going to drain your fucking, like, your energy down. Do you know,
well, you sound like a scratch record, but the thing is that you want to stand up for your club. So if they're spouting the same rubbish, you're just going to go back on them about it. So it will sound like, and you get people in the comments will say, "Oh, you just sound like a scratch record. Oh, I've heard it all before. Shut up, blah blah blah." No, you're going to keep them doing it until you see change, and that's it.
Yeah.
You know, you keep banging at that door until you see change.
It's like a scratch record because it is. It's just a record just spinning round and round and round, broken, and the same old things. And it's just like, why are you so negative? Show me something positive then.
What?
Like, show me something
I've
positive.
got to ask you though, Aaron. But what got you into YouTube? Like, what made you start?
Mate, I tell you what, I don't know because I'm extremely camera shy. I hate my photo being taken. I don't like talking in front of people. Even in school, I refused to read. You know when you know it'd be.
I was like that in school. I was saying that.
Out. Yeah, you'd have to read your sentence. I hated it. I didn't like doing drama because I didn't like people looking, and I didn't like the idea of act or whatever. I don't even know to this day why. It got to the point, mate. Yeah, like it got to the point where like I was so annoyed, and I was going in these chats. Like, do you know what I mean? All the boys and all of that. And then I was writing things. I'm like, oh, yeah, do you know what? How I feel is the same as how they're feeling. And then over a course of time, a period while I was in like these and other people's chats and Jez's and things like that, I was talking to Jez, like, I think I was messaging him offline and something. And he was like, oh, why don't you start a channel? And I was like, mate, no, not for me. And then he convinced me.
Do you know what it is?
Like, ah.
Right. Do you know what it is? Similar to me. I went on a channel. I'll never forget the game. West Ham played Brighton at home around about Christmas time. We drew 2-2, and it was a fucking shit game. It was under Moyes, and Moyes went so defensive. And what it was a geezer that I knew at a channel. So I jumped on the channel, and the geezer said, "Oh, fuck me, you spoke well. Why don't you jump on my channel and run it for me?" So I was on this channel for about 4 months doing stuff, and it drained the life out of me because I've never done it before in my life. And I was like 100 mile an hour, bang, bang, bang. Then one of my good mates, geezer who covers a lot, or used to cover a lot of stuff on Hammer's Chat, on West Ham content, turned around and said to me, "Jay, why don't you start your own channel, mate?" And I said, "Well, it's a big commitment, isn't it? Because once you start, you got to carry it on to the end. You know what I mean? You can't just start it and stop it." Yeah, and thingy. So I had to make a decision on it, and in the end, I decided, you know what, I'll do it. And I started off with a shit name. Never forget the name. I started off with some fucking rap name, some shit, and then the name E20 come from I was going down to London. I think it was for a job or something, and I was looking at the train lines going from the district line all the way into central London, and all I see was zones. And I went, right, zone. And I thought E20 zone, but gosh, put them together, E20 zone TV. That's how it come round. And I was like, you know what? You know what? And my missus was sitting there one night, and she went to me, "Why don't you sort of do it together?" Like, because I was thinking, like, West Ham, because what it is, you've got to be so careful on YouTube because you can't do anything copyright towards Arsenal. It has to be sort of proper. Otherwise, they pull it and they take you down. So yeah, that's how it come about. Started off, and just been carrying on ever since, mate. Do you know what I mean? I look at it for me with you boys. I look at it that I do it for the people, a bit like Aaron, and a bit like all you boys. Really, you do it for yourself, but you do it for others. Because you start getting connected with people that you're probably never going to meet in your life. You know what I'm saying? Like there's geezers from like Thailand and Australia who jump in my chat.
Yeah.
And it's mental. And the thing is with me, Like, I don't know about you, DJ, yeah, about how local you are to sort of the Emirates, but with me, I was very, very local to Upton Park. Like, I mean,
Yeah, no, I'm your end. I'm your end, buddy.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, you know,
Crazy.
where I am in Dagenham, I was in like Dagenham Heathway Station. To me, I jumped on the train.
That was my hometown when I was a kid. Brought up
Yeah,
there.
I'd be literally, was it 4 stops? Was it Upney, Beaconstree, Upney, Barking, East Ham, Upton Park, 5 stops. So that's what it is. Like, you know what I mean?
You're from my manor, mate. You're from my manor.
So you know, fucking hell, it's still a dive now. But
yeah, no, my ex lives there. My young boy still lives there. Listen, I'll never knock me roots, mate. Never knock me roots. Yeah. No, I was sort of shifted out of North London when I was knee-height or grasshopper when I was a baby, and I was moved out into West Ham land, and I should have really. Well, I couldn't because I was sort of North London and I was taken over there when I was a kid. The first game was 1974, 26th of August against Man City when we won 4-0. 1974, boys.
Wow. Do you, bloody hell, mate. I remember my.
And I've been going ever since.
I remember my first game. It was Alvin Martin's testimonial, and it was 1995.
Yeah,
and it was we lost 4-3 to Chelsea at his testimonial, and ever since then I was hooked. And then what it was for a few years,
true story about Alvin Martin, right, brother? Right, we was coming out of Romford Dog Track one Friday night, right, all a bit worse for where we'd been out there, and I think it was my mate's birthday, and my 2 mates were West Ham because all my friends are West Ham because I was brought up in a West Ham area, and the two boys went. That's Alvin Martin's pulling out of there. I wonder if he'll give us a lift. And I've gone to my mate, nah, don't be silly. He ain't going to give us a lift. He's gone, here, Alf, can we jump in? He opened the doors, drew on. He went, come on then, where are you going? He went, towards, Chad Relief, who's going for a curry. So he went, yeah, jump in. He said, well, I'll take you. He said, where are you going? I said, we're going to the curry house and all that. Anyway, he took us down there. He ends up parking up and coming in for a curry with us. We were talking about West Ham all night. I was well pleased, wasn't I? It made my night, that did.
What a guy.
Crazy.
How'd you start Norms?
Sorry, mate?
How'd you start Norms? YouTube.
What? YouTube? Right, so I think I shared it with DJ. I think I shared it with DJB when I was on his channel.
You did, yeah.
Yeah,
cool.
So what it was like during the COVID. It was during COVID. But I've always sort of talked about football, like, you know what I mean, before even YouTube, so even before YouTube and all of that. And obviously watching AFTV, you know what I mean, you get kind of inspired by that and whatnot. So I was talking away and my son goes, Dad, you always talking about football, you know, because we were having discussions, like me sitting down with my daughter and him just talking. You know, I'm going to start the channel. I went, nah, I don't want to start one up. Because I don't know what, you know, obviously you're sitting in front of a camera. And it's like, you just like your 30th take, start getting like sort of thing. Yeah. And I said, like, I'll do it and just do it private, so load it up privately or whatever. So I did like a load of pre-recorded stuff. And then it was obviously round about the time of COVID where, you know, I think, you know, a lot of watch-alongs were happening. And then he just said, right, just do one. And I think when you go to my channel, you'll see me sitting in my kitchen going, I'm just like a new YouTuber, like. Yeah, you see that one? He goes, just get me to 10 subscribers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was like, that was about 4 or 5 years ago, sort of thing. But it was, but again, I say, I wasn't doing it for the clout. I was just doing it because I enjoyed it. I just like talking about football, talking to my mates. I got them to come on a Wednesday show. And thought, let's just do something. I remember even when I first started, even before StreamYard, I was recording on Zoom.
Oh, is it?
Bloody hell, yeah.
I was using Zoom. I was using Zoom pre-recording, and then I'll get my son to edit it. So it looked like StreamYard because I'm obviously
that's wicked.
Went about StreamYard and that. And it's funny enough, my daughter at Christmas, she said, "Oh, Dad, here's a present. You can have YouTube StreamYard for a month. I paid for StreamYard for a month, and then the rest is history."
Yeah. I ended up jumping on Matty's channel, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I was sitting here one afternoon. I think I can't remember who we lost against. And I was raging. I'd seen enough. I'd seen Arsenal the weekend, and we was awful. Was it Brighton? I can't remember. But we were absolutely awful. Matty had his channel. I thought, do you know what? I'm going to give this a go. And I clicked on his link, and then all of a sudden, he's, like Matty, he's going, okay, DJB, go on, brother. What you saying? What you saying? I'm thinking, hang on a minute. My face is it. And that was it. I just ranted on. I had this great big rant, like massive rant. I think it's been clipped everywhere. I think it's fucking clipped all over the place. And I think Lee was listening. Lee Gunner, bless up Lee Gunner. He was listening in the background, and he rung up Matty, and he went, I've got to get that geezer on my channel. He's a real one. I've got to get 50 years, and he's ranting like that. I've got to get him on, and that was it.
He's all right. He's all right, old Lee.
Yeah. Do you know what with Lee? He's given us all an opportunity, and there's not many channels like him, mate. I'll tell you.
I do rate him on that. I tell you what, he does fucking crack me up. Yeah, I'd love to get one of you 20 because fucking you have a right laugh at me, right? But on Twitter,
if he would have time, he's a busy geezer, but he would if he was to have the time.
Every time, right, it's like someone wins a trophy, yeah. What I see is Lee, but
phase is in.
What phase in? That's his line. What phase in?
What phase in, right?
Yeah.
There was some geezer at the Polish league who just won the league. He said, "What phase is he?" And I'm thinking,
tell you what, though, he knows his football. He knows his Spanish football. Big up to Lee. He knows his Spanish football, doesn't he?
He knows his stuff. I'll give him that.
He knows his stuff. But the thing is with Lee, what you got to remember is he's by his word. He don't flip flop. He's exactly what it says on the tin. You either love him or hate him. He's like Marmite, and
yeah,
you know what I mean. And you know, that is it.
He gets some fucking shit, though, doesn't he?
Yeah, like with that side of things, because people don't appreciate the fact that he has followed this football club.
Oh, mate,
thousands and thousands of pounds and gone thousands of pounds of miles.
He used to go all over the place.
Yeah, he doesn't get the credit. I don't believe that he deserves. His YouTube shows that he gets credit. Do you know what I mean? Because he's doing well out of it. Good for him. Of course, mate. Buzzing. But like as a person, he don't anywhere near get the credit. Well, it's just, unfortunately, it's just what he's had to deal with, man. If we think some of the stuff that we've had to deal with, James, our comments, some of the stuff that man's had to deal with.
I mean, is that right? His mum, dad, when they've been over, I've been sat in the back office with him. He sort of told me, look, some of the stuff I can't really let my mum see. Right, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, he's had real bad pelters, real bad pelters. But big up, mate. Big up, Lee.
That's the point. We're going to give him a raid, so I want to wrap up in a second.
Yeah.
I'll raid him.
You'll have to show me how to do that, Aaron. I don't know how to raid.
I don't know if you need to be monetized for it, but I'll show you. Yeah. I'll show you anyway. I'll bring up how you do it.
Yeah. That's right, my friend. That's right.
Before I did, I couldn't get it done, and then I could. So maybe there's something in that.
We'll
run through it, and if you've got the setting on there, you have. If you haven't, you ain't. But I'll show you either way, my friend. James, what are you going to say? Sorry, before I jump.
No worries, mate. No worries. It was a pleasure to come on. See you all.
What you got coming up?
Always.
With me, I'm taking a little bit of a break, mate. I'm just doing little videos from there. Do you know what I mean? Nothing's really happening at the minute, right? So I'm not going to go mental over the next few weeks. Just do a couple of videos a week, and that's me. Do you know what I mean? A couple of 10-minute ones, and I might do a video in a minute as it goes, like just a pre-recorded one for the morning, and talk about obviously people walking away, but from the LS. But other than that, I'm all good, mate. I'm all good. Loving life.
West Ham linked with anyone? Because it's a bit quiet, isn't it, on West Ham? They're not. I'd have thought you'd have gone for that Delap. I thought he'd have been an ideal signing for West Ham.
He would have been, mate. I think, and saying Nick, funny enough, said it earlier, I think where you need to sell before we buy. And I do make him right because we ain't really got the money. And the final bit of money from the Declan Rice sale comes this year. I think it's like 33.
What players have you got to sell? What players realistically are...
Kudus, I think Kudus might be going. But the problem is that our owner wants 70, 80 mil for him this season or last season. He's only about 45. Yeah. He's not worth it. well, he's either going to get jail or he's not going to get jail. But
no one's going to risk him. Your biggest asset to sell is Bowen, isn't it?
Yeah, and
One of them, though, isn't it? If you let Bowen go, I think you could. Oh dear, oh dear.
Listen, I don't think Bowen will leave unless he's told to leave. So I think we're pretty safe with him. He got married at the weekend, and he had a good time.
Is that loyal though? Because bearing in mind he's got his England career to think about. What do you think? Do you think?
I think he stays, mate. I think the only time he ever
one more
leaves,
season.
I don't know. I honestly, I think the only way he leaves unless he's pushed.
Yeah,
I really do. I think he's settled now with the missus. He's captain of West Ham. I think he wants to be the main man, i.e., so the captain. I think the club, and I'll make it short and sweet before Aaron wraps up. I think the club need to do good by him now, because if they don't, then it's only one ways down. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think the only way he leaves, I think, is if we get relegated. So, because he'll definitely leave then.
No, big up, bro. Big up, bro.
What you got coming up, DJB?
Yeah, I've got a few things coming up. Thursday afternoon with my man Aaron. We're going to have a little afternoon rant because I've got a few hours Thursday afternoon. We're going to have a little rant about certain things, all Arsenal. And then Friday I'm on with I've got Jezza and Kenny Ken, the three amigos together. We're going to be talking about different things. Normski, and whoever wants to join us, I might send some links out. Normski, be prepared. But I know you do Aaron's on round about that time on Friday, didn't you? 8 o'clock.
Yeah, is it 9? Was it 9:30, Aaron? What time is it?
I was going to do. Yeah, it was meant to be.
If you want to go
early.
at 8, I'll move mine a little bit up.
What it was meant to be 5 in the afternoon, but Kenny can't make it at that time. So the only time he's available is 8 o'clock. So
I'll move mine up.
I did promise him that, so I'm going to make it 8 o'clock, only for about an hour or so. It ain't going to go on for long.
I always
and I'm going to do a couple of me clips and. Yeah, big up everyone. Make sure you sub to everyone. Make sure you sub and smash the like.
Links are pinned. And James is there in the chat again. And Norm.
Yeah. Wednesday got the What's Going On podcast show with rival fans. And then on Thursday, Bruce Banana with Shane. Friday's the call-in show with you. And then obviously if I do get the call from DJ,
you'll get a call. You'll get a call.
On Saturday, just sort of aside from YouTubing and doing content, I will be doing a sponsored walk down in Welling or Kent sort of sides, prostate cancer. So I'm involved in that as a part of the charity. So so I do. Outside of YouTube, I do a lot of charity stuff.
Absolute saint, Normski, man. A lot of respect for things like that. Honestly, you're a good geezer, man, and a great channel as well. So go support him and Yasser as well. Big up to Yasser.
Yeah, man. Big up to Yasser.
Go click on that.
Yeah, big up, man.
Hopefully, everyone enjoys it's not even Monday anymore. Enjoys the whole day today. Do you know what I mean? What's remaining the last 22 hours or so of it. Big up. Thank you very much, everyone in the chat who's been here. I know. I was supposed to be wrapping up. Yeah, you know what it's like. Yeah, never really goes the way I want.
Monday Club, Aaron. It never changes.
Monday Club, isn't it? It always goes on.
It just does. The thing is, as well, is that some different people always come on, and I quite like that. I always like starting with the 4 because if you have big from the start, everyone's just waiting too long. And then I always find, after about an hour or so, other people come on and they're like, "Oh, send us the link." And obviously, it's only certain people that I'll have on for this particular one. And I don't mind sort of dotting it and dabbing it around. Do you know what I mean? Because it spreads a bit about, and then you get a new.
I'll tell you what, I come on the other week. It was a good chat with you boys, and then Lee come on, and it was it was quite a good show. I left. was doing something. I think I was editing up like, a couple of thumbnails.
You're still there at 5 in the morning.
And then and I looked back and I went, he's fucking still live.
Mate, I've done a Monday that's ran for 10
5 in
hours
the morning.
before. Yeah, I've had the 10-hour Monday one.
Yeah, I was like, I looked at it and I thought, and then all I see is you doing the videos of people singing like fucking hard, and I was like,
It just I think you get past the time, didn't you? And it's just like anything just goes. It just goes into just anything, doesn't it? It just spirals. It just spirals. But pleasure for jumping on, James, DJB.
No worries, man.
And Normski, man, and chat. Have a good one. Go Raid Lee with Speedo Lee Raid.
Yeah, we got him on that, didn't we, the other night?
Yeah. I'm gonna. He's been old Lee Gunner's been banging on about getting himself a pair of Calafiori Speedos with his face.
Fucking smugglers. No, we set him up nicely with that. We teed him up last night with that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's
or the iPad.
Big up everyone. Oh yeah, with the iPad. Yeah, no, big up everyone. And yeah, we're gonna shoot Raid Lee, Speedo Lee. Big up everyone. Take care.
Yeah, big up.